Chapter 3946. 4 more arrived today. Time goes by day. I blinked in 400 years. 400 years outside. You can be in the third space of the Tower of Time and Space, and the time flow rate is slowed down by the predecessors. Jian Wushuang has studied for 400,000 years. For Jian Wushuang, who has been practicing for only 200,000 years, this 400,000 years is extremely long and boring, but he has tolerated it. The purpose is naturally to further improve his sword array, and thus face when the Lord of the Clouds is in charge, he can be as confident as possible. In these 400,000 years, the Wave Lightsaber array and the Earth Guard sword array that Jian Wushuang had evolved before have now become more horizontal, especially the Wave Lightsaber array, combining battles that might be stronger. As for another attacking sword array, the Hazy sword array, Jian Wushuang has already been completed, and now it has been improved step by step, and the power has also been greatly improved. I reached this step, and by reason, Jian Wushuang had little room for improvement, but he was still enlightening in the Tower of Time and Space. Until the 410th year, which means 40,000 years in the Tower of Time and Space. Tianhou Xiaoyu. The voice of the Lord of Time and Space suddenly sounded in the third space of the Tower of Time and Space. Time and space, is it all right? Jian Wushuang looked up slightly. Xianxin came over and said that Xin Yun, the first patron of the Judi Pavilion, was now in the Xingong Palace. Sovereign Xin Yun? Jian Wushuang looked. Many treasures I bought in the Judi Pavilion. Lord Xin Yun said at the time that it would be delivered to me within 500 years. Now it has passed 410 years. See, here comes all the treasures. Since Shen Yun's has arrived, Jian Wushuang naturally did not intend to continue to study in the Tower of Time and Space, but immediately left the Tower of Time and Space, and even set off toward the Star Palace. The Xingxing Palace, the Magnificent Palace, the gods of Xian, and the Lord of the Heaven sect all sit on the throne, while sitting opposite is dominated by Xin Yun. As for the other two masters of the Temple of Time and Space, and the ancestors of the Xingong Palace, they are both in the early divine realm, and have no conscious incarnations. Xianxin, you and I have had several faces. At the beginning, you personally went to my 9 Emperors' Pavilion to exchange treasures. I remember when I first saw you, you seemed to have been embarrassed by the enemy. Yes, but now, you are very beautiful. I heard that your current combat power has been able to catch up with the top masters, and there are several strongest treasures in hand. Alas, there are few people in this star field. Now it's your opponent. Shen Yun dominated and laughed, but with a bit of praise in words. Shen Yun dominated the joke. In terms of strength, you are much better than me. As for the current scenery of my star palace, it is also because a powerful genius has appeared in my star palace. I am the master of the palace, but it's just a matter of trust Ho Xiaoyu's blessing. Xian Shinto also laughed and was very happy in his heart. I am touted also depends on people. If it is said that the ruler of the Xian Shinto is standing in front of him, or a ruler with very ordinary strength, this kind of touting will dismiss the Xian Shinto. Sun Ku now touts him in front of him, but is dominated by Xin Yun. As the first master of Judian Pavilion, he is definitely the best in this star field. Of course, the toasts of such strong players are certainly happy in the heart. This shows that the current Star Palace is indeed tyrannical enough, so that even Xin Yun's dominion is polite to him. Yes, Xianxin, you know, not long ago, the ancient Night Demon Palace has left this star field. Shen Yun dominated suddenly. Ancient Night Demon King? He left. Xian Shinto stunned. Although the strength of the Star Palace has been increasing at a horrible rate in recent years, almost every day, the ruler, and even the master actively take the initiative to come to the door and promise to fight for the Star Palace. In just a few hundred years, the overall strength of the Star Palace has now reached an incredible point. I said rudely, now that this star field is afraid that it has more than 50% of its combat power standing on the side of the Star Palace. There is no way. The temptation of the top arcana, the peak arcana, and even the strongest arcana, in this star field, almost no one can resist. However, although the Star Palace is extremely powerful, It has gradually suppressed the ancient Night Demon Palace led by the ancient Night Demon King. But the ancient Night Demon Palace is still a major force in this star domain, the ancient Night Demon King. And under the premise that the Star Palace does not shoot, in this star field is still unbeatable. But now, the ancient Night Devil has left this star field. The departure of this ancient Night Demon King may be related to those strong men brought back by Xiaoho Xiaoyu. Xian Shinto could not help thinking. He guessed right. If under normal circumstances, the ancient Night Demon had just come out of the eternal dark prison not long, had not enjoyed many happy days, and really did not rush away. Since Ke Wushuang entered the eternal dark prison and brought back a large number of strong men from the eternal dark prison, this ancient Night Devil can't sit still. I want to know that the strong men brought back by Jian Wushuang can easily kill him. Anyone is the existence that makes him fully look forward to. Although he knows that these strong men are now slaves to Jian Wushuang, obeying the deployment of Jian Wushuang, it is difficult to guarantee that Jian Wushuang will relax the restrictions on these strong men. By then, any of these strong men will look at him unpleasantly, may kill him directly. After all, he is the master of a second-level peak, but he has created a great power in this star domain, becoming a party overlord, very happy. But these stronger third-level series, even the eternal dark prison, the King's Demon Dragon Lord and Demon Scorpion Lord, they can only become slaves and follow Jian Wushuang's side, obeying Jian Wushuang's dispatch. This completely unequal treatment will inevitably make these people unbalanced and jealous. Therefore, the ancient Night Demon King chose to leave this star field. It is relatively wise. Tianho Xiaoyu has returned to the Xingong. Xian Shinto suddenly looked up. Are you back? As soon as Shenyun dominated his eyes, he immediately stood up. Soon, Jian Wushuang appeared in this temple. Shenyun dominates. Qi Jian Wushuang smiled and said hello to Master Shenyun. As for the Xian Shinto and the Lord of the Heavens, he nodded. Fortunately, in the Tower of Time and Space, the flow of time is 1,000 times slower than the outside world. Or even if these treasures are obtained, Jian Wushuang will not be sure that the second incarnation of the Supreme Immortal Mystic will be before the arrival of the Demon Star Army Third Refining. Time has passed. In the Tower of Time and Space, a full 3,000 years have passed, and only 3 years have passed in the outside world. The Supreme Immortal Mystery is the second most important. Buzzing, Jian Wushuang still sits on the third floor of the Space and Time Tower. The body trembles slightly, but Jian Wushuang can very clearly sense the kind of emanation emanating from his body at the moment. Extremely sturdy and extremely arrogant. Yeah, it's tough and overbearing. Extreme Supreme is the most important of the undestructible mystic body, which makes the sword unparalleled body, directly comparable to the elementary universe. Now that he is refining to the second level, Jian Wushuang has carefully searched and inspected it. He estimates that his current body is already up to the average top treasure, compared to the top-level universe treasures. Jian Wu's eyes narrowed slightly. Under normal circumstances, the first priority of the Supreme Immortal Mysticism is to get started. The refining of Chengdu can only be comparable to the elementary universe treasure. If the second priority is to be refined, the general deities can reach the higher universe treasure. People, you can reach the top-level treasure. The sword is unparalleled. Obviously, it is the kind of person with strong foundation and extremely strong physique. When he is refined, the body is directly comparable to the top treasure. This is only the second, and then the third. Swords were released from the eyes of his sword, and his sleeve robe was swung again, and dozens of various treasures appeared on him. In front of these treasures, the most conspicuous is the golden fruit. Jinyuan God fruit, the value is amazing. Simply swallowing directly can greatly increase the strength of the body. In the vast universe, it is also a rare treasure. Many masters of the 4th and 5th series are eager to get such treasure, used to strengthen your own body. And if this Jinyuan fruit is combined with some special methods to make elixir, or it is combined with mystery cultivation, the effect is even better. Now this Jinyuan fruit is the third most important part of the sword Wushuang's cultivation of the Supreme Immortal Mystery. In the Tower of Time and Space, Jian Wushuang once again cultivated the third resurgence of the supreme immortal Xian. The third priority is longer than the second priority. It took a full 8,000 years, but the outside world only passed 8 years. The supreme immortal mystery is the third most important thing. Wu Jianshou clenched his hands tightly and was able to feel the great transformation of his own body. Chapter 3948. Second more. Compared to the strongest treasure body, the strength of this body is much stronger than before. Jian Wushuang muttered. Before, he just made it into the first place. The body is comparable to the elementary high treasure, but now it is the strongest high treasure. There are several levels in the middle. How can it be the same? Now he has such a terrible and overbearing body. If he encounters the first level master, even if the top master takes the shot himself, Jian Wushuang does not need to move when he moves, and he can bombard him on the opponent's attack. At best, it can only tickle him. After all, in this star field, the highest level magic soldiers used by the masters are the strongest cosmic treasures, the hardest of the most powerful cosmic treasures. The first series dominated with a full blow and couldn't shake the slightest. Even if his servants are his masters, all of them are the masters of the third series, and they are all very strong in the third series. But now the sword has no double-sided against these slaves. Even if they do not shoot, do not resist, these servants will not be afraid of his injuries too much. And if he wears the highest level of the best treasures of the most precious treasures, armor and soul armor, these slaves will be more difficult to hurt him. Moreover, the body is comparable to the strongest treasure, which for Jian Wushuang not only improves the strength of the body and the ability to protect the body, the power and power contained in such a powerful body is equally strong and outrageous. You must know that Jian Wushuang itself is only the master of rules. Compared with other masters in divine power, it has always occupied an absolute disadvantage. His divine power, even because he is a perfect life, is only comparable to the first level elementary master. Even if he uses many secret skills, the willpower that has been given by the laws of the universe, etc., the divine power is still very weak, can only reach the second level, and then rely on the rule of the supreme treasure Wu Weeping Sword. The power can reach the peak of the second level. But this is also his extreme, unless the magic of dragon extinction is burned. But now, the strongest treasure body, the strength of this body alone, Jian Wushuang is estimated not to be weaker than the highest peak of the first level. He then performed a number of mysterious methods. His divine power could reach the peak of the second level, and relying on the Wu Weeping Sword, now he is purely in power, and should be barely comparable to the third level. This is undoubtedly a huge improvement for his overall strength. The 3 major sword formations I have created are all very subtle. In the past years of research in the Ion Tower, I have even promoted these 3 major sword formations to the extreme. The sword formation is extremely powerful. Now my divine power, the power has also skyrocketed, and the 3 major sword arrays will become even more terrible. Sword Wushuang held it firmly with both hands. His own strength is also important to the next battle with Demon Star. After knowing that the Demon Star army will reach this star field within 1,000 years, Jian Wushuang has begun to calculate the combat power and whole card possessed by his camp. First of all, on the bright side, the Star Palace has gathered a large number of rulers of this star field in recent years, plus a large number of powerful men born in the early days with the help of the Triple Path Realm. When the battle with the Magic Cloud Star, it is inevitable there are an army of hundreds of thousands of rulers, and the rulers of these rules also have top arcane, or peak arcane. In addition, the masters of these rules also formed a battle array, and the combat power that can be shipped will be stronger. As for the master, there are also many in his camp, and they all have the strongest treasures, and even a master may have several strong treasures. These are all forces on the bright side. These forces are now no secret at all in this star field. Most people know that when the army of devil stars arrives, just ask someone to ask. It is estimated that there will be so many rulers in the early gods. Of the army, there are many dominate the existence. However, this bright power can only cope with the army under the demon star. Demon Star, after all, is a second-level astral world. It has extremely high-level combat power. The Demon Star alone should be the master of the 4th rank. His Majesty also has a lot of strong. I am afraid that the third there are many masters in the series, and the second series. These top fighting powers of the Demon Cloud Star. In the early days, the power of the Divine Realms camp relying solely on the bright side could not compete or even resist. However, in the early days of the Divine Realm, one side did not show up on the bright side, and there was a lot of hidden combat power. On the 41 slaves brought back from the eternal dark prison by the sword alone, this power is terrible enough to deal with the army of the Magic Cloud Star, other than the powerful Magic Cloud Star Master. The existence of these slaves is also a secret in the horoscope. Not many people know it. Even if Devil Star can get the news through some means, it is impossible to know what level these slaves brought back by Jian Wushuang. Strong. When the real war broke out, the two camps were fighting. The gods in the early days would be able to crush the Devil Star army if they were the best. But it is the Magic Cloud Star camp is really terrible, and the sword is unparalleled. There is always only one. That is the Magic Cloud Star Master. After all, it is a 4th level master. Even if it is just a breakthrough, I am not afraid to mess with it. However, Jian Wushuang also prepared for the means to deal with the Demon Star Master. He now has 3 combat powers and 2 whole cards, both of which are used to deal with the Demon Star Master. First of all, it is himself. Now, he is undoubtedly the strongest combat power of the gods in the early days. When he was in Eternal Dark Prison before, he got 3 Town monuments, cast the Magic Town Magic Circle, and cooperated with his sword array to display. He already had the ability to kill the Dragon Lord. But now, he has deliberately studied for more than 400,000 years in the Tower of Eternity, and has spawned 3 major sword formations, all of which are extremely arrogant. In addition, he has trained the Supreme Immortal to the 3rd level, which is comparable to the strongest treasure, God Body, so that his strength soared again. Now, if he is going all out to perform the magic of the Magic Town, he is confident that he will fight against the Demon Star Master. Even if he cannot defeat the opponent, he can rely on the sword array to entangle the opponent, and the problem should be small. Even if the power of the Demon Star is beyond his expectation, the big sword Jianshuang directly casts the Dragon Extermination skill, and the burning power makes his strength soar again. Then he can also fight the Demon Star. If the Demon Star Master has a lower strength than he expected, he will use Dragon Extermination to fully control the sword array. It is even more likely that the Demon Star Master will be killed on the spot. Chapter 3949. Third More. Shan Danjian Wushuang owns this combat power. He has the capital to compete with the Lord of the Stars. The second largest combat force is the battlefield of his sister-in-law, composed of 36 slaves. This fairy battlefield is the strongest battlefield that the Lord of Mars can come up with. It only takes 36 masters to work together, and all 36 of his servants are 3rd ranks. Dominating the combat power, 36 people are united in a battle line, and the combat power displayed in a short period of time can also reach the 4th level, and even in the 4th level is still very strong. In recent years, the 36 slaves have been staying in the Tower of Time and Space to enlighten the battle formation, and they have basically mastered it till now. Equals to the outbreak of the Battle of the Demon Star. This battle line must be able to play out. As for the 3rd combat power, it is the Magic Flame. At the peak of the Demon Flame, he was the master of the ultimate level. Although only the soul body is left, his gold-swallowing body has begun to be reshaped, relying on the gold fire magic stone, ice crystal, and blood that Jian Wushuang bought from Judy Pavilion Dragon Crystal. The magic gold-swallowing body can be restored to 20% when the magic flame soul body dominates the gold-swallowing body. It is also a large 4th level dominating combat power. According to the magic flame himself, he has 90% certainty that he can defeat the Lord of the Clouds, even nearly 50% certainty in killing the sword warriors themselves, the magic flame, and the 36 slaves formed the battlefield of immortals. These are the 3 strongest combat powers that sword warriors can get now, which are enough to pull the wrist of that magic cloud star. In addition, Jianwu has 2 cards in his hands. These 2 cards are of course the bamboo leaves and blood danks given to him by the wind demon. These 2 methods can be said to be 2 major killing tricks, which can be taken out at critical times to kill the Lord of the Clouds. Of course the bamboo leaves are okay, but the blood dandelion. The Wind Devil originally said that it would cost a huge price to swallow the blood dandelion, and might even die. There is no doubt about this sword Wushuang, so this blood dandelion must be the final choice, less than a last resort. He will never use this blood dan, but desperately with the Lord of the Clouds. 3 major combat powers, 2 major killing moves. This is everything that Swordsman has prepared. He believes that these means prepared by him should be enough to deal with the Lord of the Clouds. If even these methods still can't help the Lord of the Clouds, he has no other choice. Who? Breathed lightly, Jian Wushuang slowly stood up and looked around the void. In the years of the Eternal Tower, I have promoted what I can and can improve to the extreme, and even if I continue to practice here, I am afraid it will not help me much. Instead, it's a waste of time and it's time to leave. Wu Jianshou smiled lightly, even though he stepped away from the Tower of Time and Space. After walking out of the Tower of Time and Space, Jian Wushuang did not go to the Xingong, but chose to return to the ancient realm of eternity. Jian Wushuang's family lives here in the eternal holy realm. Father, mother. Wu Jianshuang stood in front of his parents. Both of his parents were here. Shuanger, I heard that soon after the beginning of the kingdom of God will be robbed, and life and death are unpredictable. Now the top leaders of the whole kingdom of God have gathered together, and are trying to improve their strength for the upcoming scene. Prepare for the war. You are now one of the leaders of the gods in the early days. If you do and prepare for the war, what do you come back for? Jian Nantian frowned. I have prepared almost everything I can prepare for this battle, and my strength has now reached the bottleneck, and I can't improve it in a short time, so I will continue to work hard for hundreds of years. I'm afraid that it's hard to make a little progress. I might as well spend this time with you. Jian Wushuang smiled. Baishan filial piety first. Jian Wushuang had been working hard in the early calamity in the early world of God, and was preparing, but he had not been able to accompany his family, even his wife, who had been scattered for so long before. He only accompanied his wife alone. It's only 1,000 years. But now, the real calamity is coming. Jian Wushuang's most wanted to do is to accompany his family. You child, the divine crisis is at the beginning. What you should consider first is how to deal with this calamity. Luo Xinqin stepped forward, although she said something in her mouth, but she carried it on her face. The smile shows that she is still very happy inside. The next few hundred years, our family will be in this pre-God world. Take a good stroll, Shuang, or what do you think? Jian Wushuang looked at the peerless beauty next to him, but his eyes softened. I'll listen to your husband. Lung Rushuang smiled. For Lung Rushuang, the safety of the whole world in the early days was not important. What she really cared about was being able to accompany Jian Wushuang, which was enough. Let's go, call Uncle Xiao together with them, as well as the boss Wang Yuan, the second child, the fourth child, and we set off together. Jian Wushuang laughed. It is good. Everyone answered. I soon passed out a message, and it didn't take long for Jian Wushuang and his team to gather hundreds of people. Among hundreds of people, there are relatives and friends of Jian Wushuang, as well as disciples, and the children of these relatives. Hundreds of people were arrogant, riding a warship, www.novel.com. They walked across a territory, from the ancient holy realm to the triple sky, and from the triple sky to the endless territory. Along the way, there were no obstacles, and no one or thing disturbed them. Jian Wushuang also gave up cultivation, and spent all these hundreds of years with his wife, his family and friends. Men. They traveled all the way to the mountains and rivers, seeing all kinds of states in the world. If they are bored, they will stop in a territory, and live for 10 or decades. The life is very happy and warm. What a pity! Such a happy and warm life does not last long. It is only more than 530 years. One day after more than 530 years, Shen Yun dominated and sent a message to Jian Wushuang. The spaceship on which the Lord of the Blood Sword and the Lord of the Demon Clouds have arrived is near the star field. At most another month. We'll set foot in this star field. Are you finally here? Qi Jianhui's eyes narrowed, and he immediately looked at his relatives and friends. Sorry, I have to leave first. Chapter 3950. The vast universe is dark, and you don't see any light. An ancient and huge cosmic boat travels through this dark void. This cosmic boat is extremely fast and obviously huge and heavy. It can travel in the dark void of the universe, just like a fish shuttles through the water. General, in the spacecraft, there is a strong and majestic atmosphere. Whether it is the cabin or the deck, there are a lot of strong men. Most of these people are the rulers of the rules, but there are also many masters. At the core of this cosmic boat, it is clearly a golden and brilliant palace. In the center of the palace, two figures are sitting on the towering throne, in front of which are wine and food. After a few days, I will be able to resist that star field. Alas, I said that I have lost one of the stars in this star field, but most of my deities stay in the magic cloud star. As for this star it's rare. I remember when I last came to this star. It was a long time ago. A middle-aged man with loose green robes and exquisite short hair sighed with a bowl of wine with a unique smile on the corner of his mouth. This middle-aged man in green robe, at first glance, looks gentle and elegant, but his eyes are showing a strange golden color, which adds a bit of charm. And his identity is the Lord of the Clouds. It is also the source of the great calamity in the early days. Endless years ago, if it was the Lord of the Demon Cloud who came to this astral area, but unintentionally found the embryonic primordial world, and eventually lost it, then many things will not happen at all. It will happen. And in the beginning the divine realm will be extremely stable. Unfortunately, everything changed because of the arrival of the Lord of the Clouds. At present, the entire pre-god realm is in a distress because of the Lord of the Demon Cloud. Once it fails to pass through, the pre-god realms of countless souls will all lose their lives. Devil Cloud, I said yes, when you get to that astral world, you have to let me take a look at the astral world you have taken away. It is best to let me walk inside the astral world. Sit opposite the Lord of the Clouds, a purple warframe man said. The man in the purple armor is burly. At first glance it looks like a mountain. He is sitting opposite the Lord of the Clouds, and his behavior is not accompanied by awe. And the Lord of the Clouds obviously communicates with his peers. Sihua, you can rest assured that my astral world, don't say you just look at it, even if you live there for a long time. As long as you want to, the Lord of the Clouds smiled. I don't intend to stay in your astral world for a long time. I was just out of curiosity and wanted to check it out. Although it is only a third-level astral world, after all, it was born by the vast universe by itself. Alas, it's enviable. The purple warframe man admired while showing unabashed envy. Haha, I'm just lucky. I was forced into desperation in Demon Star before I ran to other territories to try my luck. The result really made me run into luck. Demon Star laughed. Stand up. Of course you have luck, but you did not die while taking over the astral realm. But you succeeded in taking over, and this ability is not weak. The purple warframe man praised it. He knew very well that even if it was in one of the astral planes in the embryo, it would be a lifetime of death. The success of the Demon Star Master was also the result of his own encounter. He was forced into desperation and finally found a great opportunity. Naturally, he desperately did not leave himself any back road, and he succeeded. The Lord of the Clouds and the purple warframe man are chatting and laughing at will. Suddenly, the Lord Yunyun's expression moved, and the two people who had waited were aware of the void in front of the spacecraft. Get the two in front. The Lord of the Clouds sends a message to the strongman on the cosmic boat. Soon the spacecraft stopped in the dark void ahead, and the two people who had been waiting there came to the spacecraft, and soon appeared in front of the Lord of the Clouds. Have met Lord of the Clouds. The two of them who came slightly saluted the Lord of the Demon Stars, and they both carried a hint of humility. Xing Luo, Wu Shen, you two are hiding here? The Lord of the Clouds stared at the two in front of him with interest. These two are the Lord of Xinglua and the Witch God. Dominated by Xinglua is the master as cold as snow, although This is a gorgeous dividing line. Tips for novel netizens. Please pay attention to the rest of your eyes when reading for a long time. This is a gorgeous division. Of course, he does not belong to the powerful master of the Lord of the Clouds, but he has also cooperated with the Lord of the Clouds. In the past, Jian Wushuang was trying to find the location of the Lord of the Stars in order to restore his wife as cold as frost. Turn up. As for the Witch God, when he was in charge of the Witch God religion in the early world of the gods, he stood in the same camp with the three sacred realms, and he also shot against the sword unparalleled. Later, after Jian Wushuang destroyed the three sacred realms, he was also looking for the trace of this Witch God, and wanted to find him and kill him. But this witch seemed to evaporate on earth, without any trace. But now, the two men Jian Shoushuang are looking for both are here. No way, now that Star Field is completely a star palace. The power of the Star Palace is everywhere in the Star Field, even the three major battlefields of the universe, and their people are everywhere. Jian Wushuang has been searching for the trace of my two. If the two of us are still in the Star Field at this time, they have already been found. They can only stay at the edge of this Star Field and wait for the magic cloud star. Lord, you're coming. Wu Shengan smiled. Wu God. Do you remember the original agreement with this seat? The Lord of the Clouds stared at the Witch God in front of him. Of course I remember. But since the three sacred realms were uprooted by the sword unparalleled, all of my planned methods have stopped, and I have nothing to do. Wu Shinto. This is not a problem. After I have leveled this star field and killed all the swords and other people around him, your methods can naturally be rerun. Demon Star said. The words are so, but now the sword Wushuang and the power of Taichu God Realm are not the same as before. It is not so easy to completely uproot the resistance of Taichu God Realm, said Wu God. Oh, Lord Moyen frowned. Then you talk about, to what extent has the resistance force of the gods in the early years reached these years? Chapter 3951. The first is more. Listening to the description of the Witch God, until the Witch God finishes speaking, the look of the Lord of the Clouds has not changed at all. The entire star field, nearly 70% of the high-level combat power? The Lord of the Clouds disdain smiled. It's just some of the rule-level ants. No matter how many, they are still just ants. In front of my army of the demon stars, it's basically not worth mentioning. Besides that, I also heard that Jian Wushuang brought back a group of strong men from some place not long ago, about 30 or 40, and those strong ones do not seem to be weak. Wu God said again. Jian Wushuang brought back a group of strong men from the eternal dark prison. This matter is still considered a secret in this star field. Even in the Star Palace, not many people know about it, but this witch has been hidden at the edge of this star field. How could he even know about it? A group of strong? How strong can it be? The Lord of the Clouds looked down. It should all be masters. As for the specific combat power, it is not clear. Wu Shinto. Haha, master. The masters of this star field, but they are only the first level hierarchy. At most 1 or 2 second-rank masters will come out. In front of this seat, this can be regarded as a strong one. It's ridiculous. The Lord of the Clouds smiled, still not caring. I heard this. The Witch God took a deep look at the Lord of the Clouds, but didn't say more. Okay, nothing else, you go down first. Lord Moyen waved his hand. Yes. Wu Shen nodded and bowed away. After the Witch God left, the Lord of the Demon Star still looked calm, but the purple battle armor man sitting beside him frowned. Devil Cloud, who was that person just now? The purple Warframe man asked. It was a master who had come to me not long ago. He knew that I had taken away one side of the astral world, and he took the initiative to find me and worked for me. Although I had taken that side of the astral world before, I did not know how to maximize utilizing that astral world, or the witch told me how to use it. The plan was also he came up with. Demon Star mastered. Is that so? The purple Warframe man nodded slightly, but then said again, I just saw this man, and although he seems to be dominating the hierarchy in general, He always gives me a feeling that I can't fully see through. Magic Yun. Have you ever felt that way when you faced him? You say that it is true that there may be some secrets in him. But no matter what, he is just an ordinary first-level master. You and I can kill him at will with a slap. Don't worry about what waves he will make, Demon Star said. This is also true. The purple armor man nodded slightly. Then the Lord of the Clouds looked at the Lord of Stars again. Xing Luo, take out the treasure of this seat, the Lord of the Clouds said. Lord Xing Luo immediately waved his hand, and suddenly a black spear, exuding the breath of endless destruction, appeared in the void of the temple. This black spear not only exudes a strong sense of destruction, but most importantly, it also has a unique power, which makes the purple warframe man look at him. Devil Cloud, what is this spear? It's obviously not a rule of treasure, but why does it make me feel so special? The purple warframe man asked. Haha, of course it's special. This spear comes from the Diwu Temple, with a trace of special power. Because of this special power, the value of this spear is much higher than the most powerful arcane treasure. Compared to the rule of treasure, the difference is not too much. Demon Star said. Treasures from Diwu Temple? No wonder. The purple warframe man appeared surprised, and then he was relieved. Xing Luo, thank you for taking back this spear for this seat. I owe you a favor. When this incident is over, this seat will completely wipe out this star field. This seat will give you what you need. Yours. Chapter 3952. Second more. Looking at the determination in the eyes of many close friends and relatives, Jian Wushuang's heart has set off a dreadful wave. He knew that he had no retreat in the next battle. Once defeated, he cannot afford the consequences. Therefore, no matter how much the price is paid, he must win. You will go first, Jian Wushuang said in a deep voice. I'll go with you. Lung Rushuang came over, holding sword unparalleled hands. Well, we are together. Jian Wushuang nodded. Immediately, the couple left at the same time, and headed for the place where the strongest gods in the early Taizhou gathered. Sun Jian Nantian, Ji Wuming, Zhui Yinfeng Luo Xinqin, Wang Yuan, Yang Zishuan Su Rou. A swordsman's closest relative and his life and death brother, all watched Jin Shuang and his wife leave. In addition to their decisive eyes, they also have a look of expectations. The bottom of their hearts is screaming frantically, must win. Be sure to win. Out of the realm of God in the early days, in the void near the edge of the universe, countless powerful people are gathered here at this moment. Among these strong men, there are a large number of strong men who came from the Taiji God realm in these years, relying on the Triple Path realm to rise up in the shortest time, and the masters of many rules that already exist in the Tai Chi God realm, a total of 140,000 rule masters. There are also countless strong men who have been recruited by Star Palace over the past few years, plus the strong ones who belong to their majesty. The number is even more exaggerated, with a total of 560,000 people. The master of the 560,000 rules of the Xingxing Palace, plus the master of the 140,000 rules of the early gods, is 700,000. The main arm of the 700,000 rules, although the main strength levels of these rules are different, many of them are only at the level of the Void 2 realm, or the Void 3 realm. But the Void 4 realms, the 5 realms, the 6 realms, and even the 6, there are many powerful men in the extreme. And there is another feature of the master of the 700,000 rules. That is, the manpower has the treasure, and the lowest is the top treasure. As for the strength, it is a little stronger, and the peak treasure is used. Of course, with the original background of the Star Palace, even if there were 100,000 pieces of peak treasures brought back before the Sword Wushuang, it is impossible for the 700,000 rule master army to have a top or peak treasure. The reason why now it was done because Jian Wushuang went to the Red Cloud realm himself a while ago. He found the Lord Wu in the Red Cloud realm, and Lord Wu agreed to send him another batch of treasures. This batch of arcana is 1 million pieces of top arcana and 300,000 peak arcana. With the addition of these treasures, the treasures in the Star Palace are naturally very abundant. Even if the top 700 soldiers of the 700,000 rule now have a top or even peak treasure. There is still a lot of surplus in the palace. This man has a master army of 700,000 rules at the top, and even the peak. Under the command of the Lord of Mars, he has formed 7 huge battle arrays. Each battle has 100,000 people, which is equivalent to 7 legions. With the help of the battlefield, any army can explode into a horrible power. And if the 7 legions are separated, every 10,000 people can form a 10,000-man battle line. And the displayed combat power is not weak. The battlefield of 10,000 people is split again. It is a battlefield of thousands of people. In short, in less than 1,000 years, under the control of the master of the martial arts, the master of the Martian rule, the combat power of this rule's army has increased many times. This is only the master level of rules. As for the master, in the past millennium, the Star Palace has used the strongest treasure, and it has also attracted many masters. All of them have more than 30, and these masters have the strongest treasure. Some even have 2 or 3, and this combat power is not low. All these are the fighting powers that have now been revealed on the bright side. As for other fighting powers, such as those of the swordless pair, they have not appeared except the Lord of Mars. Ha! 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 Suddenly, 3 figures appeared in the camp of the gods in the early days. Among these 3 figures, Jian Wushuang and Lung Rushuang walked in front of them, and behind them, they followed a cold-looking Jinjia man. This golden armor man is burly like a tower, guarding Jian Wushuang. Hitting him is just staying in the blood-colored gourd, and he has also surrendered to the magic flame of the sword Wushuang. In recent years, because the flames have swallowed the gold fire magic stones, ice crystals and blood dragon crystals, the gold-swallowing gods they have built have been continuously repaired, and 20% have been repaired before. Out of the scarlet gourd, turned into this burly man with gold armor, followed by Jian Wushuang. Stone fire. Jian Wushuang summoned. Soon afterwards, the Lord of Mars, the god of Xian Shinto, and the Lord of Time and Space have already come to Jian Wushuang. Master, the Lord of the Martian Xiang Jinsho respectfully saluted. Heavenly friend, you are here. Xian Shinto people just said hello. Stonefire, I'll let you give these rulers and my slaves to practice battle formation. What's the matter now? Jian Wushuang asked. The master rest assured that the main army of the rule has been practicing the battlefield in my way over the years. Although their battlefields consist of a large number of strong men, the battlefield itself is not too complicated. They are all ruler of the rules. It was very easy to master these wars, and now that they are basically skilled, they can fully exert the power of these battles. As for the masters and slaves, you have been practicing in the Tower of Time and Space, and you have already mastered the Battle of Xinyu by the speed of time. Later, you have secretly simulated and practiced for more than 300 years. Now they are immortals. Once the battlefield is on display, the might will be extremely powerful. However, this fairy battle array is a big whole card, including the strength of the slaves of the master. The magic cloud star should not have received the news yet, so I let them hide for the time being, and then shot at a critical time. Stone Mars said, well, you did a good job. Jian Wushuang nodded his head, and was very satisfied with what the Martian Lord had done over the years. Xian Shen, I don't understand. Why do you choose the place where the decisive battle with the demon star will take place, and choose the cosmic void that is closest to the primordial world? Jian Wushuang asked in confusion. Although it is already within the cosmic void, it is the place of the early gods. Chapter 3953. Third more. Heavenly friend, you don't know. We chose the battlefield of the decisive battle here, and there is no way. After all, we have to give ourselves and leave a back road for the countless powerhouses in the early gods. Xian Shinto humane. Backward. Jian Wushuang frowned, still puzzled. The mysterious Shinto man explained. Devil Star, after all, is a second-level astral world. Its overall strength, including how strong the Devil Master is unknown. And this battle, although we have assembled about 70% of the high-level combat power of this star field, as well as the strong men you brought back, can you really defeat the Devil Star army with these strong means? At least, no one is sure if it is good to win in the end. But once we lose, then we have to plan for the countless practitioners in the early years of the gods. So we choose the battlefield here. Here is the cosmic void, which can allow the strong on both sides to exert the most powerful combat power. And it is entirely possible for the two sides to fight together. If our side has the advantage, we can naturally destroy the army of the demon star. And even if I lose, my strong man in the early divine realm can immediately choose to escape back to the early divine realm. In the early days of the divine realm, after all, it was only a third-level astral realm, and it was an exclusion of foreign powers, especially those who dominated the above. They could not exert much combat power in the early divine realm. It is the will of the heavenly gods to give up the early gods, but he also has to follow the laws of the universe. Even if his deity enters the world of the early gods, he will not be able to exert his peak power. By that time, our side, the faction, can continue to entangle with the demon star in the realm of the early gods and continue to fight. Of course, fighting in the early world of the gods is very passive for our side. The Lord of the Clouds can completely ignore us and continue to try to accelerate the evolution of the early world of gods. But there is no similar the existence of such a force as the three sacred realms. Our camp can always interfere with His Majesty's strong, more or less can affect his plan, and also give as much time as possible to the early gods. Wu Jianwuxuang could not help listening to it. He understood the meaning of Xianxin. In the next battle, there were actually only 3 results. The first result, which is the result they are most eager to achieve, is the beheading of the Lord of the Clouds. As long as the Lord of the Clouds dies, all the crises can be lifted without the power of the heavenly will of his predecessor. The second result is that it is the second best thing. It can't kill the Lord of the Demon Star, but also completely defeats the Devil and Star army, so that the power of Devil and the Star can't penetrate into the kingdom of the early gods. That way, even if the Demon Lord is still alive and still dominates the heavenly will of the early deities, but if he has no help in the early deities, his plan to accelerate the evolution of the early deities and improve his own power will certainly be huge. Impact, even if not completely stopped, the speed will definitely slow down significantly, which gives Jian Wushuang a lot of time to break through the master. No matter which one of these 2 results is achieved, in the beginning, the deity side was actually acceptable. However, if the results of these 2 battles are not achieved, then only the last result is left. This kind of result is unwilling to be seen by the countless strong men in the early stage of the world. That is, the camp of the early gods was defeated by the army of the demon star. The rejection of the strong outside world by the divine realm continues to entangle and fight with the army of demons and stars. However, the results of this kind of warfare are too passive, and the Lord of the Clouds may not give them any chance. Like the original, long years ago, Qixing Xuanzong fought. At that time, in the early divine realm, there was no capital to compete with Demon Star. So at that time, the 7-star Xuanzong did not dare to run out of the universe to fight against Demon Star, and could only stay in the divine world passively. The entanglement with the Lord of the Clouds, but in the end was still disintegrated by the Lord of the Clouds, directly bringing the 3 sacred realms to the powers of the early gods, and some of the external Lord of the Lords assisted, and destroyed the 7-star Xuanzong. In the first battle, the gap between the 2 sides was too great. In the early days, there was basically no room for struggle on the part of the divine realm. The top forces in the early divine realm also knew this, so they would compromise. But now it's different. In the early days of the divine realm, there was capital to contend with the demon star. So I chose the cosmic void at the edge of the early divine realm to fight the demon star. I see, let's look around. Jian Wushuang took his frosty hand, and the couple walked in the center of the void. Wu Xian Shinto, Stone Mars and others also followed him. The power of the sword of the unparalleled soul has been covered, and it can sense the breath of the Lord of countless rules. Some of the masters of these rules are still known to him, such as the Lord of the White Star Temple, Ba Tsong, etc. from the Temple of Time and Space, the spirit ancestors and ancestors of the Tianzu Dojo, and the masters of many rules from the nine-tailed family. The strong man he is familiar with is obviously stronger than before. Obviously they have cultivated in the triple path in recent years. Although they have not made a breakthrough and become the master, they have made progress. It's also huge. Okay. Qi Jian Wushuang looked, but his eyes suddenly looked in one direction. In that direction, the breath of the Lord with dozens of rules gathered, and most of those breaths were women. Is the person who is too far into the valley of love? Jian Wu's eyes narrowed slightly, and he looked at the cold frost beside him. Shuang'er, accompany me to see some acquaintances. Nodded coldly. As the swordless twin shape fluttered, he soon came to the void where the powers of Taisheng Wug were in. All of you who are too high in the valley of love, don't come without any sense. Jian Wushuang's voice was a bit cold, and his eyes glanced at these strong men, who were too high in valley of love. Taisheng Wang Qinggu, in the early days of the realm of God, was indeed a great power, but it was not the top. The number of rulers has not been too much, but now the rulers gathered here are actually more than 30, apparently because of the relationship between the threefold Taoism. There are also many undead saints in the Valley of Tomorrow, who have broken through and become the masters of the rules. Jian Tianhou. Those who were too embarrassed by Wu Tai immediately recognized Jian Wushuang, and all of them were surprised. After all, compared to the original Jian Tianhou, whether it is in strength or identity, it is already a far cry. Chapter 3954. For more arrived today. Meet the Lord of the Blood Sword. The gray-haired vicissitudes old woman standing in front of Taisheng Wangwa Valley's strong men respectfully saluted and shouted. Is the old valley owner too forgotten? Jian Wu's eyes narrowed slightly. He had dealt with this old valley owner several times before. And it was precisely because of the old valley owner's relationship that he had to make concessions, and he could only leave with the frosty soul body, and later easy to wake up her wife's soul body, and reshape her body. Looking at the old valley owner in front of him, Jian Wu's eyes were faintly cold, frozen and frosty beside him. At this moment, the moving eyes locked directly on the body of a beautiful figure behind Lord Laogu. Wu Jianwushuang also looked at the beautiful figure. That is a truly amazing woman, and whether this woman is looks or temperament, it is similar to the current coldness. However, because Lung Rushuang reshaped the body with the heart of the astral world, the body is more perfect, which is not comparable to the woman in front of her. Fu Jun, who is that woman? Lung Rushuang asked with doubt. She is your second life, you are one with her, but now she is her. You are you. Jian Wushuangdo. Is that so? Lung Rushuang nodded slightly, but looked at the other side, but was more curious. Jian Wushuang looked at the woman, but noticed that the woman's breath was quite arrogant, and she had reached the extreme of the 6 realms of void. And the most important thing was that the breath on the woman was too cold, and the cold perfection was not like no matter how emotional, she stood there. But no matter how the sword Wushuang arrived, or looked directly into the frosty eyes, her look did not change at all. This is a real person with no emotion at all. Just like the purpose of Taisheng Wangqing Valley, forgetting all emotions, she has obviously cultivated the unique divine magic of Taisheng Wangqing Valley, and is more perfect than the old valley master. And the level of cultivation is higher. She is truly like a fairy, and does not eat on earth. There is no emotion anymore. What is the difference between such a person and the walking dead? Jian Wushuang shook his head secretly. Wu Taisheng's unique divine magic is very powerful, but the price is unacceptable to Jian Wushuang. The Lord of the Blood Sword, this one next to you, should be your wife, right? The old my lord my looked over, and her face was still smiling. It seems that the Lord of the Blood Sword you found the ice heart glass jade now. Bingxin glazed jade? Jian Wu's eyes were cold. Speaking of this Bingxin glazed jade, I'm still very annoyed now. You are not brave enough. How dare you deceive me then? How to deceive? Lord of the Blood Sword, where do you start? Mai stunned. You said that my wife's soul was attached to the agarwood of the star and moon for millions of years, to ensure worry-free. Even at most only hundreds or thousands of years, my wife's soul will wake up. But later after tens of thousands, and even 100,000 years, my wife's soul never awakened. Until the end I met an expert, and he told me that the billion-year-old Xingyue Agarwood couldn't maintain my wife's soul body at all. My wife's soul has always been attached to the Agarwood of Xingyue. The soul has already been damaged. The ice heart glass jade can't recover her body at all. If I have not obtained a higher level treasure by chance, I am afraid I will never see my wife in this life. Jian Wushuang's voice was also extremely cold. What? I was startled. Why how? The billion-year-old Xingyue Agarwood should be able to keep your wife's soul body intact. No, Lord of the Blood Sword. Forgive me too shallowly. I really thought you the wife's soul is sheltered by 100-year-old Xingyue Agarwood, and there will be no problem. I did not expect it to be like this. Raimi was also anxious. She knows the importance of cold as frost to Jian Wushuang. Otherwise Jian Wushuang would not be so crazy for cold as frost before. With Jian Wushuang's current strength and status, if she really wanted to investigate the previous incident, she would drop her anger a little, and it was not that she could afford it too much. Yin Jianwushuang glanced coldly at Mai, and the anger in his heart gradually subsided. He can see that this Mai is indeed not lying, at least not deliberately deceiving herself. But at the time she thought that the billion-year-old Xingyue Agarwood was enough to protect his wife. Well, now that I've been reunited with my wife, I'm too lazy to punish you again, and the war with Devil Star is about to come. You who are too far into the Valley of Affection, still try your best in this battle. Jian Wushuang snorted coldly, and turned and left. Cold and frosty. She just glanced deeply at the woman whose face and temperament were similar to her, and immediately left. When I saw Jian Wushuang leaving, these people who were too far into the Valley of Anger only exhaled heavily. After walking around the area where many rulers gathered, Jian Wushuang came to the place where many rulers gathered. Because of the relationship between the threefold Taoism world, in the early years, the world side has also added a lot of new masters over the years. Among these masters, a few are familiar with Jian Wushuang. Haha Shenhua, congratulations on your breakthrough and dominance. Wu Jianso went directly to the Lord of the Fire Lord. Shenhua Lord in the early days of the Divine Realm has reached the extreme of the 6 realms of void, and with the help of the Triple Realm, these years have already reached the level of domination, and he can be said to be the number 1 created by the Triple Realm. A master. As for Emperor 13, who broke earlier than him, in fact, he broke through with his own strength, and it has nothing to do with the Triple Path. Jiantianho, no. Now it should be called the Lord of the Blood Sword. It is a rare thing. With your current status and status, you can still remember me. Shenhua Lord smiled. You have been with me for so many years as a guard. How can I forget this feeling? Jian Wushuang smiled. When he was weak at the beginning, he was in the Divine Realm in the early days. There were not many friends around him, and Shenhua Lord was definitely one of them. And the Shenhua Lord did help him a lot. The Shenhua Demon Lord now broke through the master. Because of the sword Shuang relationship, he was immediately given several strongest treasures. Not only the strongest treasure warrior, but also the strongest treasure warframe, including domain, flying the strongest class of treasures all have. With these strongest treasures, in the next battle with Demon Star, Shenhua Lord's life-saving ability can also be greatly improved. Chapter 3955. The first is more. Yan Jian Wushuang and Shenhua Lord trembled at will, but at this time he noticed the 2 figures next to him. Heaven Life. Sword Wushuang looked and walked forward. The Lord of the Blood Sword, both the Bone God and the Meteorite King, are extremely humble. You too here too, Minggu, you have already broken through to reach the dominance. Jian Wushuang looked at the Minggu old monster, and could sense the dominating level breath emanating from the opponent. It's true, long ago I've broken through to dominate. But the ghostly old man said, Oh. Jian Wushuang stunned. Heavenly friend, in fact, Minggu already stood by my star house long ago, but no one knows it. Xian Shinto said, Is that so? Sword unparalleled. It's no wonder that this bone-in-the-bone monster has been helping himself everywhere. It turned out that from the beginning, this bone-in-the-bone monster was someone in his own camp. In the beginning, The world was our hometown after all. Although I didn't have much ability, I wouldn't watch my hometown fall into desperation and ignore it. The ghostly old man laughed. As for his death, he told me Ben is a friend, and this time he came with me. Although the two of us were not very helpful in this battle, they were more or less capable. Wu Jian Wushuang nodded. The Great War was imminent, and many powerful men on the one side of the divine realm in the early days were extremely united. Only in this way, I have the hope of winning in the next battle with Demon Star. At this moment, Shen Yun's master suddenly passed. The Lord of the Blood Sword, there is bad news. Shen Yun's voice was a bit low. Bad news? Jian Wushuang frowned. What's the matter? The Lord of the Blood Sword. When I told you before, the spacecraft in which Devil Star was traveling stopped for a while passing by a star field. Before that, my 9 Emperors Pavilion didn't know what the spacecraft was staying there, but now I figured it out. Shen Yun dominated the pause and continued. The spacecraft of the Demon Star will stay in that star field, because one of the star fields the strong, the beginning of God. Shihua Shinjun. Jian Wushuang remembered the name. The Shihua King is a master of the 4th series. Although it is only the elementary level of the 4th series, it also has great fame in many nearby star domains. And he and the magic cloud star the Lord himself is very familiar. And the two seem to have a good relationship. This time, the Demon Star passed the Sea of Knowledge in that star field, and invited him to come towards this star field together. Shen Yun dominated. What did you say? The sword has no double-sided color changed immediately. You mean that in the cosmic boat that Demon Star is now riding, in addition to Demon Star Master, there is also a starter, who has also reached the 4th rank of Master level. Deity. That's it. Shen Yun dominated slightly and nodded. Damn. Jian Wushuang held his 2 hands, but he could not help cursing. A single Lord of the Cloud Star is already extremely difficult. In recent years, although he has prepared many means, these means combined give him a certain confidence to face the Lord of the Clouds, but he still has no absolute confidence to win in this battle. But now it's better. In addition to the Lord of the Demon Clouds, there is even a Shihua King. He is also the master of the 4th series. If this initiating prince shoots, his combat power can completely affect or even change the whole battle situation. Shen Yun is the master. Can you determine the relationship between the Lord of the Demon Cloud and the Shihua King? If it comes to a critical moment, he will surely shoot? Jian Wushuang asked. Of course, the relationship between the two of them can be ascertained. They are indeed friends. This point has heard about some of the strong players in the surrounding star domains. But after the start of the war, will the Shihua Shinjun take the shot? Can't guarantee it. Shen Yun dominated. Jian Jian's eyes suddenly narrowed. The Shihua King and the Lord of the Clouds are friends, and now they are on the spacecraft that the Moon of the Clouds rides on. At the beginning of the war, if the side of the magic clouds is not defeated, 80% of the King of the Stars will be shot. That is said that in this battle, they have another enemy who reaches the 4th level to dominate the level. I was really bad news. Fortunately, although this Shihua King is also dominated by the 4th level, but the strength is not too strong. Our 3 strongest combat powers should be able to easily compete with him. And I came from the early gods' camp. Said the real threat is still the Lord of the Clouds. Jian Wushuang groaned. The arrival of Wu Shiwa's prince unexpectedly surpassed Jian Jianshuang's expectations and brought him a certain amount of pressure, but it was still within his manageable range. The Lord of the Blood Sword. The cosmic boat on which the Demon Cloud Star has arrived in this star field, and is now rushing towards the early divine realm at the fastest speed. It is estimated that it can be reached for at least half a day. Shen Yun master again. Has it been a long time? Jian Wushuang looked cold. I was too prepared for all the strong men in the world, and I will treat them like death now. Wait for them to come. In this void, where there are countless strong people, a solitary atmosphere has already condensed. With the news of the upcoming arrival of the Demon Star Army, a large number of powerful people in the void are ready, and the master of countless rules has risen to form a group. Another huge battle line was lined up there. The masters of many rules in the battlefield are also ready to wait one after another. Half a day later, in the early divine camp, under the gaze of hundreds of thousands of powerful men, an ancient and huge cosmic boat slowly sailed from the forefront of the cosmic void. This cosmic boat is too big, at least 10 times larger than the cosmic boat originally obtained by the Lord of Mars. There are also countless strong men standing on this ancient cosmic boat. In the depths of the cosmic boat, there are still arrogant and even terrifying breaths circling. Devil Star Army, here it is. In a cosmic void near, 3 silhouettes stood calmly. These 3 figures are the 3 masters from Judy Pavilion, headed by Xin Yun. The 3 of them saw the huge and boundless cosmic boat descending in this void, and they were secretly amazed at the moment. The Demon Star is a second-level astral plane after all, and there are countless powerful people. There are nearly 100 masters. The Demon Star has previously lost one side of the astral plane, and now it has reached the first level. At the 4th level, coupled with the existence of an originalization god, this lineup does not know if the side of the early gods can resist it. Chapter 3956. Second more. If it can be blocked, but if it can't be blocked, this is a trivial matter at the beginning of the divine world. The key is the Lord of the Blood Sword. I'm afraid it will die. Another cabinet master frowned. For Wuxia Pavilion, the life and death of the gods in the early days did not care. The only thing they care about is the life and death of Jian Wushuang. After all, Jian Wushuang is a real super genius, and his name has already been included in the list of 9 emperors. If he can grow up in the future, it will also be beneficial to their 9 emperors pavilion. Unfortunately, I do not fight for hegemony and do not participate in the battle between all forces. Although the Lord of the Blood Sword is a person on the list of 9 emperors, my 9 emperor courts will only provide him with some basic help. But it won't help him get out of crisis. This battle is life or death. All depends on himself. Shen Yun dominated his head secretly. 9 emperors pavilion will not care about the life and death of those who are strong in the 9 emperors list. Especially those who are young and not yet growing up. Like Jian Wushuang now. Although Jioding Pavilion pays more attention to his genius, it still does not give Jian Wushuang too much help. Even if Jian Wushuang encounters an extreme situation, Jioding Pavilion will not shoot. This is after all. There are so many geniuses in the Judy Pavilion. After all, if anyone encounters a threat and Judy Pavilion assists, Joji Pavilion will pay too much, and it will be too busy. Furthermore, it is impossible to sail smoothly along the way. Anyone who wants to become a top power must go through hardships. The talented man in the list of 9 emperors is in danger. But this is what Judy Pavilion is willing to see. Because these dangers are some disciplines in Judy Pavilion's view. Only those who can truly grow up in this time, and time to reach the top level of the universe, can really be qualified to ask Judian Pavilion to take a shot. The current sword Wushuang is too far away from that level. I hope the Lord of the Blood Sword can survive this time. Shen Yun's master can only think of it this way. An ancient and huge cosmic boat appeared in the void on the edge of the Taiji Divine Realm. In the Taiji Divine Camp, hundreds of thousands of practitioners looked at this ancient cosmic ship. Their faces became dignified. Finally, here it is. Wu Jian's eyes narrowed slightly, and there was an astonishing fierce flash in the depths of his eyes. His wife was as cold as frost, standing next to him. The gods, the masters of time and space, the Lord of the Sky and the ancestors of the heavens also stood next to Jian Wushuang. Many high-level powers in the early gods looked at the front. The appearance of the ancient cosmic boats, one by one, was trembling, and their hearts were shaking slightly. Buzzing, humming. The ancient spacecraft finally stopped completely in that dark void, followed by numerous dense figures rushing out of the spacecraft like wasps. These people are the strong armies of the Demon Star, and they are also the main level of rules. As for the number, they are much less than the camp of the gods in the early days, only 100,000 people. However, although the number of rulers in the Demon Star army is far from being comparable to the beginning of the Divine Realm, the rulers of the Demon Star are all wearing the same black armor. even holding in their hands. The magic soldiers are also the same standard magic soldiers. The breath on them is even more magnificent. The ruler of the 100,000 rules is at least the highest level of the Void Realm, and the Void Realm occupies more than half. Not to mention quality, the lord of these rules of the Demon Star Army is much stronger than the lord of the rules of the early gods. In the early days of the Divine Realm, although there was a main army of 700,000 rules, forming an army of 700,000 people, but the strength of the 700,000 people was uneven. Although there were many rulers of the 6 realms in Void, but in terms of quantity, it is not as many as Demon. This is just a simple comparison of the number of people and the quality. They can really fight each other. The coordinated military formations, the degree of tacit understanding, and various means are the keys to victory. Although there were 700,000 troops in the Divine Realm at the beginning of the Tai Dynasty, it was really necessary to fight against the master army of the 100,000 rules of Demon Star. It may not be possible to have a complete victory. Suddenly, hundreds of streamers swept from the ancient cosmic boat at the same time and appeared in the forefront of the army of 100,000 rules. These streamers are truly the masters of the Demon Star camp, with hundreds of people, and the head is the Demon King and Shihua King. He is the Lord of the Clouds. Jian Wushuang stared at the most conspicuous person in the crowd ahead. It was a middle-aged man who looked extremely elegant. He stood at the forefront of the Demon Star army, carrying his hands, a smile on the corners of his mouth, and the pale gold in his eyes. Extremely evil feeling. The Lord of the Demons and Clouds. The root of this war is also the real source of the calamity in the early days of the gods. The Lord of the Devil Clouds looks ordinary, and it doesn't give people a terrible look, and I can't sense the specific breath on him. Jian Wushuang squinted his eyes slightly. He knows that the more ordinary he feels, the more the Lord of the Clouds proves. Should the purple armor man next to him be the Shihua Lord? Jian Wushuang looked at the Shihua Lord again. Is also the 4th level master. Jian Wushuang did not dare to have a little bit of for the Shihua Prince. Jian Wushuang's look suddenly moved, his eyes immediately locked a master behind Demon Star. Xinglua dominates. Jian Wu's eyes narrowed. His eyes flashed with a hint of sharpness. He knows the Lord of Xinglua, but he stands next to the Lord of Xinglua. He has not seen the true deity of the god, but he can't recognize it. But the Xian Shinto people, several of them immediately recognized the of the witch. Is the witch god? This witch is very cunning. At the time, the 3 sacred realms were destroyed, and the 3 lords of the 3 sacred realms were beheaded and killed. But the witch has fled far away. But he could find him. I really do know where he has been hiding all these years. The gods of Xian and the Lord of Time and Space also looked at the of witches with a hint of killing. I didn't expect that in such a short period of time, you could reach this step. The sword is unparalleled. You are really surprised by this seat. The hearty laughter sounded suddenly. The faint golden light in the eyes of Jade Demon's main eye suddenly became dazzling, and looked even more evil. Master of the Demon Cloud, this should be the first time I really see your deity. And I have waited for this day. I have also waited for a long time. Jian Wushuang said, his voice was cold. This seat has always been looking forward to meeting you. Sword is unparalleled. After all, you are the most talented genius you have seen so far in this seat. Even your master, Xian Yi, is purely talented. It's far from being comparable to you. The Lord of the Clouds smiled. Chapter 3957. Third more. Master. Jian Wu looked cold. Simple conversation. But it has caused Jian Wushuang to have a terrible killing intention. After all, his master Xian Yi died in the hands of the Lord of the Demon Clouds. Sword unparalleled. I heard that you are now recognized as the number 1 in this star field. I am curious. What step has your strength reached now? The Lord of the Clouds smiled, and suddenly waved. A towering throne formed out of nothing behind him. The Lord of the Clouds sat on the throne in such a big swing, and looked down at everything. Snack food. Lord Moyen stared. Star Lord. A man more than 2 meters tall, and looking like a brown bear came out. Go up and try this little guy's strength, remember, don't kill it at the beginning, otherwise it won't be interesting. The magic cloud star played with the taste. Yes. The burly man, like a brown bear, immediately stepped forward. Which is Jian Wushuang, come up and die. This burly man stood like a brown bear, standing in front of the hundreds of thousands of troops, in the early world of God, and uttered a loud drink. Qi Jian Wushuang frowned. What does the Lord of the Demon Cloud want to do? Will the battle be ahead of time? Is it necessary? Qi Jian Wushuang had doubts in his heart, but immediately he noticed all the eyes around with special expressions. These eyes all came from the strong men in the early divine camp. At this moment, the eyes of hundreds of thousands of strong people are focused on him. These eyes are full of anticipation and enthusiasm. As the Lord of the Clouds said, Jian Wushuang is now the undisputed strongest in this star field, and one of the greatest reliants of the camp in the beginning of this war. There are no doubts about the countless practitioners of the field in the beginning. It is based on him, and now the other party is actively inviting to fight. If this sword is unparalleled, it is okay if it wins, but if it is defeated, it will be a tremendous blow to your own camp. You know, now only one of the masters of the Lord of the Clouds comes to invite the battle. If you can't defeat even the swords, you don't need to fight again. The Lord of the Demon Cloud seems to want to win the battle more easily. Jian Wu has two sides indifferent, perceiving the countless prospects around him. Jian Wushuang understands that he must not shrink from this battle. Must fight, but also extremely clean defeat, and even kill each other. Only in this way will his morale be unaffected. Su took a deep breath, and Jian Wushuang stepped forward, stopping in the void in front of the burly man. You are Jian Wushuang, the ruler of a rule? The burly man glanced at Jian Wushuang. His eyes flashed disdain immediately. The ruler of the cricket ant. He doesn't know what his master wants him to do to deal with the cricket ant? Although he didn't understand, the burly man still said in a deep voice, I am Lord His Majesty the fourth god will eat. Lord said, do NT want to kill you from the beginning. So rest assured, I won't let you die so soon. But if you are too weak, you can't even take my simplest attack, then it's no wonder that I die. You don't kill me the first time, but I will kill you the first time. Jian Wushuang said indifferently, haha, the kid is mad enough. Sure smiled coldly, but his body immediately had a fierce breath rising. This breath was so earth-shattering that many practitioners in the early world of the divine realm were astonished. Color. I can't help it. In this star field, the strength of the practitioners is really too low. The strongest before was worthy to reach the second series level, but now the simmering breath is clearly at the third series level. The master of the third level, the practitioners of this star field have never seen it before. Now I feel this breath, of course, terrified. Wu Kejian was unparalleled, but after he noticed this breath, he still looked calm. This breath is also the third-level primary dominating level, and it is very general among the third-level primary dominating. You can easily bring out a third-level dominator in the eternal dark prison. I am afraid that it is stronger than him. Strength. No need to waste time, just kill. Wu Jianshou did not take this nibble at all. I saw that his right hand was turned over, and Wu Wei's divine sword appeared in his hand. The breath of the rule's treasure level spread, making many of the Devil Stars dominate, including Devil Star Master and Shihua King. It's a bright light, and Jian Wushuang has already shot directly. Buzzing. A hazy mist, like a field, swept across the mighty. In the blink of an eye, the whole world was covered by this mist. Within the hazy mist, a Ape formation has taken shape. I was standing there, unable to stop the mist, and now he was at the very center of the mist. At the same time, he sensed the special power carried in the mist. Is it the array? He frowned, and a huge axe appeared in his hand. Suddenly, a cold light lit directly. I saw in the mist of the sky, a huge sword shadow cut directly. It's too fast. The speed of this sword is incredible, and it appears directly from the mist. I didn't see how Jian Wushuang shot it at all when he reacted. This huge sword, the shadow, had appeared directly in front of him. and he could not even wave the huge axe in his hand to resist the sword shadow. Ha! Wu Jianying was not hit by any obstruction on the sacrifice body of sacrifice. The sacrifice of sacrifice body was violently blown out, and the breath on his body was directly weakened by more than 20% at this moment. How is it possible? Shi widened his eyes. As the Lord of the Demon Clouds, he sat down as the fourth general. He obviously has a mighty strength, and the giant axe is already in his hands. But he hasn't had a shot at all, and the divine power has been annihilated by more than 20%. Howl is another huge sword shadow, followed by the third, fourth, fifth. Do not! Gourmet screamed violently, and he waved the huge axe in his hands. Trying to resist, he could cut 5 swords in succession. He only resisted one of them, but the other 4 were directly bombarded on his body. All of his power was destroyed. Humming. The hazy mist of the sky also dissipated directly, and the heavens and the earth returned to peace. The sword in Wushuang had taken back the Wu weapon sword, and he stood quietly in the void of the universe, and at his feet was the cold corpse. From the beginning of the mist to dissipate, it is only a momentary effort, but the fourth of His Majesty the Lord of the Clouds will eat and still die on the spot. Chapter 3958. 4 more arrived today. Dead, that eater is dead. For a moment I didn't respond. What kind of fourth will be killed? Did you see it? This is the Lord of the Blood Sword, our first strongest in the star field. Too strong. The Lord of the Blood Sword is too strong. And there is the Lord of the Blood Sword. Then there is no such thing as a demon lord. Numerous practitioners in the Taiyuan divine camp were shaken completely, because the battle was too fast just now. They just saw that the mist was permeating. As for what happened in the mist, they hadn't had time to see it clearly, and the mist was dispersed again. And just now that was still clamoring and bursting the dying fourth will eat and is dead. It was only a moment, and the absolute strength revealed by Jian Wushuang completely conquered them. The result of this battle also immediately boosted the morale of the practitioners in the early divine camp. Originally, there was still a trace of embarrassment about the outcome of this battle. Now, because of the relationship between swords and swords, they are full of confidence. Almost everyone thinks that they can win this battle. This battle win beautiful. Heavenly little friend, he is really amazing. I just felt that breath, and I can feel his breath, much stronger than us. But in front of Xiaoho Xiaoyu, he was beheaded. The masters of the God Realm camp at the beginning of the Tai dynasty were also very excited. They all knew that Jian Wushuang's battle easily won and killed opponents, which had a great influence on the whole battle situation. The master's strength has increased again. Among the many slaves of the sword unparalleled, at this moment only the Lord of the Martian is standing in the power of the early gods, and everyone else is hiding. Suddenly, at the moment, the Lord of Mars was secretly astonished. He knows Jianshuang's strength. Thousands of years ago, in the eternal dark prison, although Jianshuang's strength was also arrogant enough, he could only trap the enemy with the wave lightsaber, and then slowly killed the opponent. For nearly 1,000 years, Jian Wushuang has been doing secret repairs in the Tower of Time and Space, and his strength has increased significantly, especially in the sword formation. Whether it is the Wave Lightsaber Array, or the Earth Guardian Sword Array, they have been greatly improved. Of course, there is the third most important thing to make the supreme immortal mystery, which is comparable to the strongest treasure, which gives Jian Wushuang a stronger divine power. And just cast by Sword Wushuang, it is the hazy sword formation derived from the hazy sword skill. This sword formation is an absolute killing sword formation. It is equally powerful from the current swordless hands. The current sword is unparalleled, and even if he does not use his whole cards, he can easily kill the ordinary third-level master by relying solely on the hazy sword array. The entire universe is empty, and because of the battle between Jian Wushuang and Shi, they are caught in a commotion and madness. In the beginning, the practitioners in the world were all surprised and excited, but those practitioners on the side of the demon star were exactly the opposite. When they saw that their fourth would be so simple and killed, each of them was shocked. They know very well how powerful this fourth will be, The 6 major generals of the Lord of the Demon Cloud have the same strengths as each other. Even if they are the first generals, they are not much stronger than the 6 generals. It can be said that the 6 major generals, it is Her Majesty's strongest combat power. Of course, the Lord of the Clouds is far above the 6 gods themselves. But now, the 4th will be killed by the other party so easily. Then in their entire Demon Star camp, I am afraid that only their master can compete with each other? Originally, I wanted to suppress the morale of the opponent a little bit, but I didn't expect it to be a cocoon. The Lord of the Clouds frowned, and Jian Wushuang's killing and eating was so clean and clear, which obviously exceeded his expectations. However, this sword's unparalleled improvement in strength is indeed beyond this seat's expectations. The Magic Cloud Star secretly said, "The Master of the Rules can only kill a 3rd-level master in an instant. The master of this rule is very powerful. I have been practicing a chaotic era so far, and I have seen many talented men. But the Lord of the Rules against the sky like this, I have never seen it." Shihua Xinjun was also surprised there. No matter how against the sky dare to block the way of this seat, he has to die as well. But the Lord of the Clouds burst out with a terrifying killing intention. "There is no need to waste time anymore. Just go ahead and kill it." The Demon Cloud Star sat on the throne and waved his hands casually. At the moment he waved his hand, the army of 100,000 rulers behind him was moving instantly. "Kill!" A terrible shout and kill sounded suddenly. 20,000 people spoke at the same time, and the sound they made was just like a single person, and the sound was filled with one of the terrible killings. For a time, the entire universe was shivering. The main army of 100,000 people's rules is like a huge war machine, directly running, and numerous figures are swept out at the same time. And even if they are swept out at the same time, this army is neat and tidy, without any slight disorder. A horrible killing intention has already been flooded in this world, and at the moment when the main army of the rule of 100,000 people was up and running, at the beginning of the camp, countless practitioners his eyes became scarlet, and he even became crazy. At this moment, these practitioners have come up with their own treasures. Each piece is at the top, and even the highest level of treasures appear in their hands, and the breath of God's power of countless rules has also risen into the sky. Battle! With a loud roar, the war was soaring. The next moment, 700,000 rules of the main army spawned 7 huge battle formations, just like the 7 war beasts, also directly rushed out. Compared to the whole of the 100,000 rule Lord army of the Demon Star, the 7 war beasts on the one side of the divine realm in the early days did not seem so perfect, but the momentum was not weak at all. The most important thing is that in quantity, after all, it is one of 7 enemies. Even if the quality of the Lord of the Devil Star army rules is higher than that of the gods in the early days, the gods in the early days have no fear at all. In the blink of an eye, the 2 armies collided head-on. This is the ultimate battle that has begun long ago, and has determined the life and death of countless lives and souls in the whole early world of God. From this moment, it finally broke out. When the battle began, the world was angry. Chapter 3959. The first is more. Pung pung, pung, pung. A terrible roar sounded loudly. The 2 armies all formed a battle array, combining the power of the master of all rules. And the first time they carried out a terrible collision shock. The shock wave was shocking and shocking, causing the surrounding universe to tremble in madness. There was even 1 cosmic black holes appear out of thin air. In the first round of collision alone, in the early days of the divine realm, 7 war beasts, 2 of them were directly repelled, and the entire war beast trembled wildly and almost collapsed. It is also a battle formation, composed of the master of 100,000 rules. A single war beast is not an opponent of Demon Star's army at all. Even if it is 2 or war beast, it may not be able to compete with Demon Star. The army contends, but in the early days, one side of the world was eventually the master of 700,000 rules, consisting of 7 full-fledged monsters of war. Although these 7 war monsters are not opponents, they can be swarmed up. Even if the battlefield of the Demon Star Army repelled the 2 in the first place, the remaining 5 will rush wildly and display horror. Assault. The battle line of the army of the Demon Nebula attacked the past. The battlefield of the Demon Star Army is like a whole. The 100,000 Rule Master obviously cooperates for a long time, and it is extremely tacit. Even when facing the 7 war beasts, they are attacking from the surroundings at the same time. While resisting, they also able to fight back and forth again and again. The minimum of 100,000 is the master of the rules of the top of the Void Realm, forming a battle array, perfectly performing, and an arbitrary attack. That power is already above the General Master. Simply talking about power, I am afraid that even the master of the 3rd and 4th series cannot be compared with it. This battle formation formed by the Demon Cloud Army and the 7 war monsters in the early stage of the Divine Realm collided with each other in a frantic collision, but within a short period of time, they did not fall into the wind. In the surrounding void, many masters of the Divine Realm camp stood in the early days, watching the battlefield in front of them, and their hearts were shocked. I am the first time I have seen hundreds of thousands of rules to form a battle formation and fight and collide again and again. It's not just you, we're all the same. Well, the crazy killing of the master of hundreds of thousands of rules, it is incredible just to think about it. Every one of the masters was secretly admiring. In this star field, although there are many rule masters, there are hundreds of thousands of rule masters. This number is still too large. Usually, when the 2 forces fight, the number of rulers participating in the battle can be tens of thousands, which is considered a super scene. But these scenes, compared with the war in front of them, are little witches. It is indeed Demon Star. Although the Demon Star Army has only 100,000 rule masters, the 100,000 rule masters are not only in quality, but also in their proficiency in battle formations and their cooperation with each other. The ruler of these rules must be too strong. Fortunately, the number is 7 to 1. Otherwise, the collision of this army, I was too early in the world side, is not the opponent of the Devil Star. Even now, I am too early the world side. At best, they can barely occupy some advantages. Xian Shinto solemnly. Wu Jianso nodded slightly. He can also see that the masters of the rules of the Demon Star Army cooperate very well, and that the masters of these rules have a mastery and proficiency of the battle array 1 by 1, which is far from the masters of the rules of the early gods. Ratio. Although there were 700,000 rulers in the Taijutsu camp, most of these rulers were invited in the past millennium, and they did not come at one time, but came one after another in the millennium. Although the master of these rules immediately began to familiarize themselves with the battlefield, after all, time was limited, and there were too many people. Even if the master of the Stone Mars exerted all his strengths, in such a short time, it was impossible to achieve. Every ruler has a high degree of mastery of the battlefield. In other words, among the 700,000 rulers of the divine world in the early days, most of the rulers just barely mastered it, and many of them were too late to master it. But with other people, they barely battled it out. Combination formed. Under these conditions, in the early days, the ruler of the one side of the divine realm, I am afraid, will only be able to exert 20 to 30% of his power. This has led to the fact that even if the 7 war monsters join forces, they can only compete with the Demon Star Army in a short period of time, and can only take a slight advantage at most. Master, it is my reason that disappoints you, the Lord of Mars said next to Jian Wushuang. This matter, no wonder you. Jian Wushuang waved his hand. He is very clear that in such a short period of time, the Lord of Mars can make these 700,000 rulers to form a battle line, which is very good. In the main army of the rules, although I didn't get much advantage in the early days, the God realm had at least the upper hand. Next, I saw the collision of high-level combat power. Jian Wushuang squinted his eyes slightly, but his eyes were it was directly through the void, and looked at the Lord of the Cloud Star at the end of the line of sight. When the magic cloud Xingzhu, still lazily sitting on that throne towering statue, eyes look unto them from time to time at the battlefield. See, when on the battlefield, Magic Cloud Star armies in the collision with the beginning of the spirit world. Even when a little disadvantage, Magic Cloud Xingzhu his face, showing a hint of surprise of color. War? And this war level did not seem low. What a Magic Cloud Xingzhu vision. He saw immediately that the beginning was the spirit world, one of 7 beasts of war, 700,000 of the main rules of the form of very smart. But those who master the rules of war, to a very low degree of mastery, not only the law of war to play it out completely valiant. This is the beginning of the gods, is in the thousands of years began to emerge a large number of the main rules of their army, should also in this nearly 1,000 years before the formation. The formation may be within such a short time army, was able to play this and other combat power? It appears that one side is the spirit world was in the beginning there was a good strong battle formation. Magic Cloud's magic main underground passage. He said good tactical deployment of strong, natural stone Mars is the Lord. Alone under the command of the army, the winner is hard to see high-level combat capability it. Magic Cloud Xingzhu spoke. He slowly raised his right hand as, standing behind him, from the Magic Cloud Star of hundreds dominate, their eyes are instantly converge on the Magic Cloud Xingzhu right hand. With this Magic Cloud Xingzhu waved his right hand raised. All of a sudden, a road to dominate the levels of the atmosphere directly broke off. Magic Star's arm, dominate hundreds, including mini-second series, and even digital dominate the third series, at this moment have direct move. Chapter 3960. Second more. Rumble. The outburst of mastery breath caused the focus of this battlefield to shift from the masters of the rules of both sides to these masters instantly. It's our turn. Dozens of masters gathered together at the beginning of the Tai Kingdom. These masters have already flexed their muscles, and when they see the masters of the Demon Star's side, they are immediately dispatched. I saw that the same atmosphere of dominance erupted. But in the beginning, the master of the world, no matter the quantity or the breadth, could not be compared with the master of the Demon Star. After all, the Lord of the Demon Cloud Star comes from the second-level astral world, including many second-level masters, and even the third-level master. Even if a fourth general is directly killed by Jian Wushuang, there are 3 more. On the other hand, in the early days of the Divine Realm, almost all of them were dominated by the first rank, and even the top ranks of the first rank were very few, and their numbers were far inferior to each other. According to reason, there should be no room for counterattack in this collision of dominating combat power, but in the early days, the side of the gods was also prepared. I saw a series of 6-man star battle formations suddenly rising up, and in the early god camp, a group of rulers suddenly emerged. The number of masters of these rules is not too many. There are only thousands of people, but the thousands of masters of the rules are all in the 6 levels of the void, and the magic treasures they hold in their hands are arrogant. Is the strongest treasure? Yes, it is the strongest treasure. Before the sword Wushuang came out of the eternal dark prison, he brought back thousands of strongest treasures at one time. Most of these strongest treasures were not needed at all. So the mysterious Shinto people were extravagant, and gave some stronger rules of the 6 realms of Nether. Lord also used the strongest treasure, the master of these 6 rules of the Void Realm, who had the strongest treasure, did not join the battlefield of 100,000 people, but formed a new battlefield with 18 people together. 28 battlefields composed of the 6 Void Realms, with the most powerful treasures. The power of this battlefield is no less powerful than the General Master. At the same time, thousands of rulers of this kind directly formed more than 80 such wars, and 80 extra masters came alive. In addition to the dozens of masters originally owned by the one side of the world in the early days, the number of mastery powers is more than that of Demon Star. However, the large number does not mean everything. After all, the Devil Star side has a lot of second series, and even third series dominate. Boom! I saw that the 2 dominated the strong, and they fought together in a fierce battle. Immediately, there was a fearful roar of cries. In the early days of the Divine Realm, many masters, Xian Shinto, Lord of Time and Space, Lord of Heaven and Earth, Tianzhu, and Emperor 13 all shot, including Jian Wushuang's wife Leng Rushuang, who had already shot and directly faced. A master of the second series, cold as frost itself absorbed the heart of the astral world, has great potential, and got the Mist Supreme's personal biography. After breaking the dominance, the strength is also extraordinary. He can easily compete with the second-level dominator, even if he does not play the whole card. Once the cards are exhausted, you can even reach the top level of the second level. I can say that, in the early days of God's many masters, with the exception of Jian Wushuang and the Stone Mars Master, who presided over the situation around him, almost all shot. But despite this, the two sides collided, and the situation was still one-sided. In the early days of the Divine Realm, the six-horse star battle array, composed of 18 lords of the 6 realms of the void, was defeated by dozens of fronts in just a moment of effort, and many rulers were beheaded and killed on the spot. On the other hand, there are already 3 masters, beheaded and killed by the third-level master of Demon Star. It only took a moment. The dominant combat power on the plain side is not the opponent of Demon Star at all. The sword sank without a double-sided color but followed the message, Xian Shun almost. After receiving the news from Jian Wushuang, the Shinto man immediately noticed that instead of paying attention to the master in front of him, he waved his hand directly, and an exquisite attic appeared in the middle of the battlefield. The beautiful atmosphere of this loft is very special, but it's just a treasure. With the start of the war, these masters have already come up with a variety of treasures, such as field treasures, flying treasures, repression treasures, and so on. Now mysterious Shinto took out a loft and it was nothing. No one on the two sides of the original fierce battle paid attention to the mysterious Shinto man who took out this loft, but suddenly, oh! A large group of figures, dozens of them directly attacked from the exquisite loft. Each breath of these figures was so strong that they even reached the third-level. Most importantly, their combat power was even more. It is invincible, and almost any one of its combat power can be comparable to the third-level high-level master. Lame enough 40 people, assaulted and killed, and those who dominate the magic cloud star as fast as possible. Suddenly, not good. The third level dominates so much? Do not. A sound of anger rang through the void of the universe. These anger comes from those masters under the demon star. These masters are completely crazy at this moment. The third-ranked master, within their magic cloud star, the master of the magic cloud star, and his 6 gods will only reach the third-rank level. And before the Lord of the Clouds, he reached the peak of the third level. And in recent years, the retreat strength has reached the 4th level. But those 6 gods are just the 3rd level to count the dominating levels. Suddenly, the 40 people who suddenly appeared in front of him even took out one who was not under the 6 gods. Even their fighting power is even stronger than the 6 major gods. I especially had 2 of them, exhaling a breath of suffocation, and that breath was almost approaching the 3rd peak. I must know that the 3rd series dominates, and the 1st series, and even the 2nd series dominate almost all of them. Even if he is also dominated by the 3rd level, his strength is slightly weaker. In the face of these darkest strongest from the eternal dark prison, there are only those who can be easily killed. So many 3rd level masters suddenly rushed out from the middle of the battlefield. This was absolutely catastrophic for the master of His Majesty. I saw these 40 masters who reached the 3rd level, sweeping the battlefield at a horrible speed, and passed by as if they were harvesting wheat, easily killing one master from the magic cloud star. 100 masters, almost just a blink of an eye, were killed directly. The remaining masters are like bow-struck birds. Chapter 3961. Third more. Escape. Run away. The gap is too big, this can't be beaten at all, hurry up. So many 3rd level masters to kill us is simply slaughter. The surviving masters of the Demon Nebula were scared and almost insane. It took only a moment to work on it. Hundreds of masters have been slaughtered for most of them, and many of them include 2nd level masters. As for the 3 generals under the Devil's Star, at that moment, I will also play against one of the other masters. And that master is 1,000 killing emperor. In the end, killing the emperor with just one axe, they will be hit on the spot. If there are 2 or 3 axes again, they will probably be killed on the spot. It's too strong, it's terrible, this person is not the strongest among these groups. The severely damaged general looked at the 1,000-slayed monarch in front of him in horror, and immediately looked at the surrounding void. Lord Dragon, Lord and Lord Scorpion. He can see that Lord Dragon and Lord Scorpion are stronger than those who have been hit hard. Escape. These masters who are still alive under His Majesty's star have lost any warfare, and at this moment directly chose to escape. But even if they fled, the slaves under the swordless pair of swords were still chasing wildly. This saw that many of the masters had been beheaded. In the end, there were hundreds of masters. Only fewer than 20 people escaped from the battlefield and returned behind the Lord of the Demon Clouds. The rest, including one of the generals, were directly killed by the slaves of the sword unparalleled. Fortunately, there were fewer than 20 of them. Although they were lucky to escape their lives, they were still trembling with horror at the moment. 1. As I expected before, as long as all of my servants have shot, they can defeat the Lord of the Demon Star. Jian Wushuang smiled faintly, looking at the battlefield ahead, and was very satisfied in his heart. Haha, happy, so many masters, just in one fell swoop. They are all killed, just like cutting wheat. Where did the dozens of powerful men who suddenly appeared come from? Why are they so powerful? The masters of the Taiyuan divine camp were still standing there, and most of them had cyanosis in their heads. Most of them don't know where the sudden dozens of powerful dominators came from, and most of them didn't know that there were such a group of dominating levels before. When they saw the powerful power of the Lord of the Demon Star burst out, these masters were still terrified. But who could not have thought of blink of an eye? The situation completely reversed. Mysterious God, what is going on? Master of the Xuanjingong. At the beginning of the Taiyuan divine camp, the invited masters came to ask one after another. Wu Xian's Shinto man smiled brightly and said, "You, the batch of masters you are seeing now are all blood swords." He brought them back from a special place, all his slaves. Brought back by the blood sword. Slave. Many of the masters of the God Realm camp in Taichu were shocked. All eyes could not help looking at Jian Wushuang behind the battlefield. These eyes became more awe-inspiring. I'm kidding. The slaves are so powerful. How strong is this Bloodsword Lord? Ha! 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 Those masters of the Demon Nebula were defeated by the front, and the masters of the early gods, including the slaves of Jian Wushuang, returned to Jian Wushuang. Master, fortunately shameless. Lord Dragon Lord said respectfully. Jian Wushuang nodded his head with a smile on his face. This battle, Jian Wushuang has carefully laid out the layout from the beginning, and also began to calculate. What he calculated was the masters of the Devil Star. He wanted to kill as many masters as possible under the Demon Star, and even if possible, destroy all the masters who came with the Demon Star army this time. In this way, even if he could not resist in the end staying at the Lord of the Clouds, he is not worried anymore. Because if Her Majesty's Lord does not have a master who can be transferred, then even if this battle of demon is over, Jian Wushuang and others will retreat to the early divine realm. Yun Xing's plan is also very difficult to achieve. At least it can give Jian Wushuang a lot of time. Therefore, at the beginning, he deliberately showed weakness, and only let the local gods in the early stage of the gods fight against the masters invited in this star field in recent years, and a master of the six rule. Let the mysterious Shinto stay in that delicate loft, and in the loft, all his 40 slaves stay inside. Only when the time comes, the mysterious Shinto man takes out the loft at the center of the battlefield. His servants kill many slaves at the same time, and try to kill the Lord of the Demon Star in the shortest time possible, so that the Devil Star on the edge of the battlefield the Lord has no time to rescue. Although the final result is not too perfect, after all, dozens of Dominators have escaped, and it is possible to kill more than half of Dominion's masters. This is already an extremely great result. Most of the Lord of the Demon Cloud Star has been beheaded and killed, and the rest has been scared out of mind. In a short period of time, he can't take another shot. As for the ruler of the rule, I also had an advantage in the world. It can be said that in the camp, I was completely crushed by the demon side in the beginning. In this battle we have already won half. The mysterious Shinto man clasped his hands, his eyes flash fine. Mango. Next, as long as you find a way to block the Lord of the Demon Cloud and the Lord of Initiation, that's enough. Shihua Shinjun is easy to handle. Jian Wushuang opened his mouth. The information given by Shin Yun will not be false. Although this Shihua Shinjun is in the 4th level, his strength is average. I am composed of 36 slaves. The fairy battlefield should be able to compete with him. The key is the Lord of the Clouds. Wu Jian's peerless eyes stared through the void, staring at the Lord of the Clouds starkly. Information given by the Master Shin Yun is extremely affirmative to the warlord of Shihua. But the true strength of the Master of the Magic Cloud is very vague. After all, the Lord of the Clouds has long occupied a secondary astral world, and has become the master of this secondary astral world, and has not shot it for a long time. Not only that, he has also been retreating in recent years. Now his strength has just achieved a breakthrough to reach the 4th level. Although it is only a breakthrough, after all, he has lost the pre-god world, and can use the pre-god world. See how his true strength is. No one can say for sure. Okay. Wu Jianso suddenly looked up, and his pupils shrank sharply. Because he has already seen, the Lord of the Clouds, who has been sitting lazily on the throne, has slowly stood up. Master Demon Yunxing, it's time to do it yourself. Chapter 3962. 4 more arrived today. Seeing the Lord of the Clouds standing up, Jian Wushuang's complexion immediately became dignified. Although this battle has continued to the present, in the early days, one side of the divine realm has occupied an absolute advantage, and it can even be said that it has already won half. But Ku Jianshuang is actually very clear. This war until now is just an appetizer. Even if there are hundreds of thousands of rules of the main army collision, there are many masters of crazy killing. But these are appetizers. And this result is also Jian Wushuang they had expected long ago, in their expectations. And the real success factors of this war are all in one person. This person is the Lord of the Clouds. He is the most terrible, strongest combat power of Demon Cloud Star, and the greatest threat to the gods in the early days. In the early days of the divine realm, only if it could defeat the Demon Lord, to be precise, as long as it could resist the Demon Lord and prevent the Demon Lord from killing, then this battle can be said you have to win. Otherwise everything is empty talk. After all, as long as no one can stop the Lord of the Clouds, the Lord of the Clouds can kill all the high-level powers in the early god world with one's own strength. The Lord of the Devil Clouds is really so calm, but now he intends to shoot. Jian Wushuang's eyes narrowed slightly, but he followed with a sneer. So many masters died. And he was so calm again. Furious. I'm afraid you'll be furious. Jian Wushuang guessed pretty well. Now the Lord of the Clouds is indeed angry. He glanced at the servant behind Jian Wushuang, and his eyes were burning with anger. Just now most of his masters were slaughtered directly, more than 80. With so many dominators, even if it is more than half of the dominance of Demon Star, it has been beheaded here. When this battle ends, after he returns to Demon Star's overall strength is bound to weaken a lot. And the most important thing is that these masters were killed under his eyes. He clearly watched these masters killed, but there was no time to rescue them. It made him even more angry. Sword unparalleled. This seat really despises you. You can find a group of 3rd-level masters in a short period of time? But really have the ability. Devil Star Master said coldly. He also has to admit that even he can't do it with dozens of 3rd-level masters in a short time. After all, here is the edge of the universe, and the nearby star fields have reached the 3rd level of the level. There are very few of them. He may still be invited by 3 or 4 3rd-level dominators. What he can do? But Jian Wushuang did it. Demon Lord, don't worry. There are many things you didn't expect. Jian Wushuang said with a smile. Perhaps, but I haven't had that patience with you anymore. I just heard that the third-level master behind you is called your master. They are all your slaves, right? So long as I kill you, will they die? Or will they get rid of your control? After hearing this, the eyes of the demon dragon lord and others behind Jian Wushuang were all bright. In fact, they were forced to surrender before they chose to surrender to Jian Wushuang. Although Jian Wushuang took them out of eternal dark prison, and they only needed to surrender for 100,000 years. If there was a chance, who would like to stay and rule the Lord's men, who listened to their dispatch for 100,000 years? If Jian Wushuang died early, wouldn't they be able to release in advance? Jian Wushuang also immediately understood the intention of the Lord of the Clouds, but smiled indifferently. Master of the Clouds, you don't have to fight the ideas of my slaves. Don't think that they will pretend to be ineffective in this battle. I tell you, if I am not dead, they can live. But if I die, I will directly kill them before I die. The words of Jian Wushuang are extremely simple, and there is no room for negotiation. This makes the Dragon Lord and others feel shocked. Although they are angry, they are more afraid. They are now afraid that Jian Wushuang really died in this battle. Oh, a bit interesting. Then see if these slaves in your hands can block this seat. Devil Star Master smiled slightly, but his figure had slowly floated forward, while at the same time, a terrifying breath that moved the world and trembled from the Devil Star Master slowly rose up. This breath is too strong, it is suffocating. Although there were many masters present, even the second and even third-ranked masters, there was also a strong and powerful breath from these masters, which can rise from the moment of the Lord of the Devil Stars at this moment. Compared with the breath, it is like spark in Haoyue. This breath rises up, and the pressure that sweeps away makes the sword unpaired, and many of the masters of the early gods are out of breath, and some are already sweating. The pressure of breath alone has caused the general first series, and even second series dominators, to lose the courage to compete with them. Only with the third-level dominance can we barely block the oppression of this breath. The fourth-level master, is it so terrible just with the breath of divine power? Jian Wu's eyes narrowed slightly, followed by a low-drink magic flame. Ha! A golden figure appeared in front of Jian Wushuang in an instant. This is an indifferent golden armor man. It is the magic flame. The magic flame stood in front of the sword without double sides. At this moment, the body also had a strong breath of divine power rising. Although this breath is only the third level of the peak level, there is still a little gap compared to the Magic Cloud Star Master. But the magic flame stands. His eyes were cold, but he was not affected by the magical breath of the Lord of the Clouds. Go, kill this demon lord. Jian Wushuang pointed at the demon lord. Yes. Demon nodded. His body turned into a golden lightning, swept out directly. The next moment has recondensed in the void in front of demon lord. The demon nebula glanced at the demon flame in front of him. Disdain. Third series dominate? Funny. Junior, you are too arrogant. When your deity is swaying the universe and massacre the fourth series, and even the fifth series dominate, you don't know where it is. The magic flame was low. Junior. Mo Yin Yin stunned. He didn't know that Demon Flame was an ultimate master at first, and lived a very long time. If he was at the peak, let alone a fourth-level master like the Lord of the Clouds, and even a fifth-rank master. In front of him, they all had to tremble. The Lord of the Clouds was really just a junior in front of him. Chapter 3963. The first is more. Boom. There was a loud noise, and Moyen had already shot. I saw him suddenly rising with magnificent golden light. These golden lights were extremely dazzling, like a huge golden sun, and as the golden light shone, the momentum emanating from the magic flame suddenly surged. But in a blink of an eye, the golden light of the sky was condensed into a 10-meter-long, bulky golden condor, and a breathtaking violent breath swept out. This golden condor's wings spread directly across the void. Condor. Golden condor? Many of the strong men who watched the surrounding void seeing the appearance of this golden condor were very surprised. Junior, today I will teach you what it means to be outside the sky. The icy voice of the magic flame came out from the golden condor. This golden condor was extremely fast, and condescended like a prey. The horrible power broke out from the golden condor. This power was even more shocking to those who watched the surrounding war. There is no doubt that the mighty power of this golden condor instantly reached the 4th level. Don't say anything. The Lord of the Clouds smiled indifferently. A dark spear appeared in his hand. The dark spear exuded a faint light, and the power of the Lord of the Clouds' right hand pervaded. Ha! The dark spear pointed upwards into the void, and was a jab. A seemingly simple blow made a huge black hole appear instantly in the void of the universe, devouring everything around him like a mouthful of blood. In a blink of an eye, the golden condor that fell from a high place collided directly with this spear, and the cold golden claws directly grasped the spear and made a sound of metal collision friction. The 2 sharp claws of the golden condor actually swept directly from the dark spear, and then grasped the head of the Lord of the Clouds. Huh! The 4th series dominates the combat power? He was too late to withdraw the spear in his hand to resist the claws of the golden condor, but the other palm of his hand was directly clenched into a fist. A horrifying force condensed in his hand, and then exploded. Pung pung! There was a loud noise, the world shook, and the surrounding void was collapsing. The sharp claws of the golden condor were blasted out, but the abrupt golden condor opened his mouth. Wow! A golden thunder burst out suddenly, incredibly fast. The demon Yunqing Lord was also shocked. His body flashed quickly, and he barely avoided the golden thunder. With a hissing noise, your golden condor's momentum has skyrocketed again, and he is madly attacking the demon star. The 2 pillars of this golden condor, its wings, including its extremely sharp mouth, have become magic weapons at this moment, and the power that erupted is extremely tyrannical, and it has even reached a 4th with a single blow level hierarchy. The key is that this golden condor is extremely flexible, the speed is extremely fast, and the attack method is extremely strange. At this moment, the Lord of the Clouds has also shown a powerful power that is far above the 3rd level master. But in the face of the crazy attack of the golden condor, for a while it was in a disadvantage. So strong. The golden condor is so powerful. Every attack of it is extremely terrifying, even reaching the 4th level of domination. Is this man also the master's slave? His Majesty, when is there such a powerful slave? The dozens of slaves under his sword's warriors all talked about each one, and they were all amazed. Perhaps the masters of the 1st and 2nd ranks around can't see the intensity of this battle, but all of these slaves have the 3rd rank of combat power, so they can naturally see the current battle very much clear. They can see that the magic flame itself may be only the 3rd level, but the golden condor he has revealed is definitely the 4th level, and it is not weak in the 4th level. At least the golden condor, he is now transforming into a crazy attack. If the weak 4th level dominate, I am afraid it will be difficult to resist. There are still such powerful people in the camp of the gods in the beginning? That purple warframe man, also known as Shihua Shinjun, is now attentively watching the battle between the golden condor and the Lord of the Clouds. He can feel the strength of the golden condor and the Lord of the Clouds, especially the golden condor. The attack method is not only extremely powerful, but also does not give people a chance to breathe. If such a crazy attack is replaced by him, I am afraid it has been completely suppressed, and the power of the Devil Star is obvious. A lot stronger than him, so far, it is only slightly underdog. Magic Cloud, you care, be careful to capsize in the gutter. Shihua Jun smiled, but still very relaxed in words. Haha. It's only been a long time that I have fought against people, and I want to warm up first. The Devil Star also laughed, but his eyes became cold. Go! With a loud scream, the breath of the Lord of the Demon Clouds skyrocketed, and a large black magic cloud swept up. These demon clouds swelled, and eventually formed a dark and hazy face. This face is so huge that a pair of scarlet eyes pierced directly at this moment. And the dark spear in the hand of the Lord of the Clouds also stunned a burst of stab. And the universe vanished madly in an instant, and the terrible power passed out. The strength of this force completely affected the surrounding the cosmic void, and nearby battlefields. Although the golden condor transformed by the demon flame was powerful, under the spear burst, he felt a tremendous impact, forcing him to burst out. Humming, the golden condor dissipated, and the shape of the demon flame appeared in the sight of everyone. Suddenly, the magic flame at the moment had a very solemn complexion. Just hit the golden condor I turned into with a single blow. It seems that your junior's strength is better than I expected, mumbled the flames. Originally, according to the speculation of the magic flame and sword unparalleled, this demon star master just broke through the 4th rank, and its combat power should be relatively weak among the 4th rank master. But it seems that this is not the case. At least, the strength of the Lord of the Devil Stars is much stronger than that of the initiated god, who has reached the 4th level for a long time. Although it is much stronger than I expected, it is still within my range. The flames of magic flames turned slightly cold, and the rich golden light rose again in the next moment. Ha! Ha! The strange flash of golden light was originally just a golden light, but at this moment it turned into 2. At the same time, 2 huge golden condors were formed at the same time. Chapter 3964. Second more. 2. 2 golden condors? Oh my god. A single golden condor is so scary. But this person can be transformed into 2 golden condors at the same time? Many practitioners who watched the battle around were shocked. Even if the Lord of the Demon Clouds saw the demon flame turning into 2 huge golden condors at the same time, his eyes and pupils could not help shrinking. Ha! Ha! 2 huge golden condors, like 2 golden lightnings, suddenly swept across the void, one at a time and one at the same time. The Demon Cloud Star Master waved the black spear in one hand, while competing against 2 golden condors. However, just now is just a golden condor. He can still resist it if he is serious, but he can face 2 golden condors at the same time. Even if he is more serious, he can still resist very hard. I saw that the 2 huge golden condors came and attacked again and again, either with claws or wings or direct impact. Each attack was extremely powerful, and was not weaker than the 4th level master. With a full blow, in the face of this crazy attack, the Lord of the Clouds could only resist passively, and could not find a chance to fight back. Suppress! The Demon Cloud Star Master has been completely suppressed by the 2 golden condors transformed by the demon flame. Great! Good job! Look, the Lord of the Nebula is completely suppressed. Many of the masters at the beginning of Tai Tai's divine realm were overjoyed when they saw the scene ahead. Even if it was Jian Wushuang, he couldn't help but clenched his palm. His eyes flashed a fine light. He knows the origin of Demon Flame, and Demon Flame also told him before. As long as his gold-swallowing body can recover 20%, he will have 90% confidence to defeat the Demon Star Master. And even 50% will be able to defeat the demon. Yin Xing beheaded on the spot. Now it seems that Demon Flame did not lie. He has recovered 20% of the gold-swallowing body. Although he has only recovered to the 3rd level of the highest level in the realm, he can rely on the mysteries of many means during his lifetime. His combat power is completely can override the general 4th grade primary dominate. Even though the Demon Cloud Master is a lot stronger than they expected, the Demon Flame can still suppress it. However, suppression alone is not enough. If it is possible, it is best to be able to wreck this magic cloud star, or even kill it directly. Jian Wushuang secretly said. The 2 golden condors transformed by the demon flame attacked the Lord of the Clouds madly, and completely suppressed the Lord of the Clouds. But the suppression was suppressed, and the Lord of the Clouds has not been really hurt so far. And most importantly, it has been completely suppressed by the magic flame. But the star of the magic cloud has not appeared any anger or anxiety from beginning to end, which makes Jian Wushuang's heart a little worried. This is your full strength, but that's it. A laugh with evil charm suddenly emanated from the main mouth of Demon Star, and a strange smile appeared on the face of Demon Star. The magic flame sank inside, but the next moment, the 2 huge golden condors penetrated the void in an instant. 2 sizzling hissing sounds at the same time, and the 2 golden condors burst out at a terrifying speed at this moment, and they attacked the flame at the same time. A monstrous evil spirit permeated. Jin Yin flashes. Mo Yin shouted inside. Jin Yin Yin is the strongest move in the derivative Golden Condor he is currently performing. This move is a killing move, and the power is naturally overbearing. Ah! The Lord of the Clouds looked up and looked at the Golden Condor rushing in and out, hesitating in his eyes. The two Golden Condors, one behind the other, and the speed are incredible. At this terrible speed, he can't dodge at all, and can only forcibly resist the impact of the two Golden Condors. But he only has time. He waved his spear and resisted the Golden Condor directly in front of him. But the Golden Condor struck from behind him was not impeded by any impact, and hit his body heavily. At this moment, the golden light skyrocketed, and the entire dark universe was completely illuminated by this bright golden light. Suddenly, the Lord of the Clouds was completely caught in the golden light of the sky, and was madly impacted by that sky. Owl! The two Golden Condors dissipate at the same time. The shape of the magic flame is also a sharp retreat, retreating to the surrounding void, and his eyes are staring at the center of the battlefield. At last, the golden light slowly dissipated, and the figure of the Lord of the Demon Clouds appeared again in the sight of everyone. I saw the Lord of the Demon Cloud at this moment. The robe on his body had burst apart, but there was a cyan armor covering his whole body. There was a very clear mark on the cyan armor. Obviously the mark just left. This mark has begun to dissipate slowly, and the hair of the Lord of the Clouds is a bit messy, and there is even a trace of blood overflowing from the corners of his mouth, which looks a little embarrassed. It hurt me. The Demon Lord stretched out his hand and wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. His eyes looked at the demon flame again, but there was a faint icy look in his eyes. Although I have encountered many strong people, and have played against many masters, but so far I can hurt me very few. You should be the only one who has hurt me in this billion years, people. And on the premise that I have reached the 4th level. After I have broken through, I can still hurt me, and that alone is enough to be proud of you. Pride. Mo Yin sneered. It's just sitting on the edge of the universe to watch the sky. If you go to the depths of the universe, no, even if you go to a slightly larger territory, you can have the strength like this. Someone who killed you is here. Perhaps, but you are not qualified for it alone. The Lord of the Clouds stared at Demon Flame coldly, and his voice slowly became cold. You are pretty good, barely qualified to let me do my best now. Exhausted, Moyen frowned. Many of the strong men who watched the battle around were surprised. Did the Lord of the Clouds haven't come up with all their strengths till now? It's impossible. He showed the combat power before. Obviously there is a 4th series, and the 4th series is still a relatively strong one. He has a 4th series that has just broken through. He can have this. The general strength is already very good. How can it still hide the strength? It's hard to tell. It doesn't look like he's lying, he said. I looked at each other, and at this moment they were all condensed on the Lord of the Demon Cloud. Even sword unparalleled, pupils narrowed, staring at the Demon Star Master. Chapter 3965. Third More. The Demon Cloud Master has not done his best so far. Jian Wushuang does not know, but from the beginning to the end, the relaxed appearance of the Lord of the Clouds is not difficult to see that he should not lie. Suddenly, the Lord of the Clouds took back the black spear that was originally held in his hand, and when he turned it over again, he took out a purple spear. It is also a spear like magic soldier, but as soon as the purple spear appeared, the horrible breath emanating from it immediately caught everyone's attention. That is, the rule is precious. It's a rule of law, so terrible it's not wrong. The whole battlefield was suddenly uproar. The rule is precious? The sword has no double-sided color also changed. He has the rule of treasure in his own hands, and he has a divine sword suitable for himself. He knows how much a rule of treasure can enhance his strength. For the master who owns the rule of the treasure, and the master who does not have the rule of treasure, the combat power is also completely 2 levels. This Demon Star Master has just revealed his combat power, but it is normal or slightly stronger in the 4th level primary master. But now he has the rule of treasure that is suitable for his own performance. Then his combat power can at least soar. Go to the 4th level higher dominate level. He even has the rule of treasure. Mo Yin also felt a little dreadful at the moment. You know, the rule is precious, and many 4th and 5th series do not have it. Here is at the edge of the universe. The rule is rare and pitiful. Like swords, it is also the opportunity to go against the sky and pass the red cloud realm. Only then did he get the rule of treasure. But to the Lord of the Clouds, the magic flame had never thought that the other party would have the rule of treasure. With the rule of treasures, the combat power of the Demon Star Master can reach a new level. And the magic flame himself, although he was the ultimate level master in his peak, had the rule of treasure, and more than one or two. But since he was chased after every hardship, only the soul body escaped. His treasure they all fell into the hands of the strong man who chased and killed him. Even if his soul body regains control of the body, Jian Wushuang will not be able to get him a rule that is suitable for him to perform. After all, Demon Flame is good at claws, and his suitable blade is claw-type magic soldiers. Jian Wushuang can only give him a superb treasure of the highest level for him to perform. But the strongest treasure of the highest level is only one step away from the rule of treasure. But the power is far worse. And unlike the shock of the many powerful men in the early Divine Realm camp, the original god who also reached the 4th level has not been surprised at all when he saw the Lord of the Clouds come out with the rule of treasure. Some were just astonished. Some sighed. Only Diwu Temple can make such a wealth of money. The magic cloud has not joined the Diwu Temple for a long time, but it has been given a special soldier with restraint effects on special lives, and a rule of attack. Although it's just a rule of thumb, it's very rare. Wu Shihua and the Lord of the Clouds were friends, and he envied him from the beginning, not only because the Lord of the Clouds has taken away a side of the astral world, but also the chance of the Lord of the Clouds. He has joined the Diwu Temple. But it is a great force in the vast universe that many strong people are eager to join. What can you do? Diwu Temple is extremely powerful overall, but the threshold is also high, and the requirements of the strength and potential of His Majesty are extremely strict. Although he is the 4th level master, he is not eligible to join Diwu Temple. After the rule of the Supreme Treasure appeared in the hands of the Lord of the Clouds, the pressure that the Lord of the Clouds brought to the early gods' camp was even greater. You try again. The Demon Nebula Master held the purple spear with the magical treasure level in one hand, with a smile of evil charm on his face, looked at the magic flame in front of him, and the other hand was still out, hooking his fingers towards the magic flame. The demon flame looks ugly, although it is clear that after the Lord of the Demon Cloud possesses the rule of Arcana, the overall combat power will be greatly improved, but the magic flame has no fear at all, only to see the surging golden light shine again. In just a moment, the two flames of the giant golden condors came together again, and the two golden condors howled again, and then attacked the demon star again. But this time, facing the attack of the two golden condors, the Lord of the Clouds just waved the purple spear in his hands. Wu Mingming is a spear, but at this moment, he is smashed out by the Lord of the Clouds as a growth stick. He smashed casually, and the Lord of the Clouds did not even use his tricks. However, at the moment when the purple spear was smashed, a very unique power burst out. Boom! As if an adult bullies a child, the purple spears were destroyed all the way, and they directly defeated the two golden condors transformed by the magic flames. Even the purple spears still had amazing power, and they smashed into the magic flame's body directly. Above, Demon Flame's red gold body is extremely powerful, but after all, it has only recovered 20%. Under the bombardment of this force, it trembled wildly. Demon Flame spit a large mouthful of blood, and the breath of the whole person was weakened. It was a big cut, and his body also bulged out. It took a long time for him to stand still again. How is it possible? The magic flames widened his eyes, and his face was incredible. The strong men who watched the battle around were also shocked. I smashed the spear like a stick at will, but I still smashed the 2 golden condors transformed by the magic flame instantly, and also made the magic flame wound. This gap is too large. Just now, under the attack of the 2 golden condors, the Demon Star Master was extremely embarrassed and even injured. Why now, in a blink of an eye, he completely changed it. Law of the Universe. Jian Wuxia stared at the Lord of the Clouds staring ahead. His face was already gloomy to the extreme, and the coldness and frost standing beside Jian Wuxia was startled. And he also noticed the gloom on Jian Wuxia. Law of the Universe. It's the law of the universe. This Demon Star Master realized a little of the law of the universe? How is it possible? Even the Master. It is extremely difficult to understand a trace of the law of the universe. How could this Demon Star Master? Is it because of this reason that he took away one of the astral planes before? The slaves behind Wu Jianwu also shook one by one. The law of the universe, the supreme force in the vast universe. Even if Jian Wuxia had paid a great deal of energy and price at the beginning, he barely comprehended a little of the law of the universe. But now, no one has thought that the Lord of the Clouds even realized a little bit of the law of the universe. Chapter 3966. 4 more arrived today. Trouble. Wu Jianshou clenched his hands tightly, his body trembling slightly, and his heart was full of anger. He never thought that this Lord of the Clouds not only possessed the rule of treasures, but even realized a bit of the laws of the universe. The law of the universe. Even if you are the master, you can understand that a little, its power can change dramatically. And the law of the universe is driven by the law of the universe, and the power of the law of the treasure can be better exerted. Wu Jianwuxuang himself realized a little of the law of the universe, and the rule of treasure was also in his hands. He knew very well how much the two helped his strength. The Lord of the Demon Cloud itself is the 4th level master, and it is at its own level. Although the enhancement of his strength will not be too outrageous, it will also reach a completely new level. At the very least, it must be the ultimate of the 4th series, even barely comparable to the peak of the 4th series. This kind of combat power, in the early days of the Divine Realm, no one can compete. How to do? The Lord of the Demon Cloud is too strong and completely beyond our expectations. How can this be good? It is the 4th level to dominate the combat power, plus the rule of treasure, and even comprehend a bit of the law of the universe. This kind of combat power can completely kill me all by myself. Do we really only have to retreat to the Divine Realm? At the beginning of the Tai dynasty, many powerful men in the world were very anxious and anxious. Fu Jun, Lung Rushuang glanced at Jian Wuxia. The Jade Hand and Jian Wuxia were holding each other in the palms of her hands, and her brows were also a little worried. Relax, give it to me. Jian Wuxia gently rubbed the cold frosty jade hands, but then swept away in front of the void. I saw Jian Wuxia appearing in the battlefield ahead. Many of the powerful men in the Taiji world at the beginning were all stunned, and each one of them immediately ignited a new hope. The power of the demon Yunxing's main show is too arrogant and terrible, which makes them even nearly desperate. However, Jian Wuxia in the eyes of the many powers in the early divine camp. That is also an absolute myth legend. However, before the outbreak of the war, the ruler of the rule directly killed a 3rd-ranked master by thunder. He is the 1st-ranked player in this star domain, and so many reached the 3rd-ranked. The strong are all subject to him, even just his slaves. His strength, his means, so that many of the strongest camp in the early world cannot see through. Now he appears on the battlefield. Perhaps, he really has the ability to change the situation in front of him. Although hope is slim, it is also hope. Heavenly friend. The 4 gods of Xianxian, the Lord of time and space, the Lord of heaven and earth, and the heavenly ancestor stood side by side. The eyes of the 4 were completely locked on Jian Wuxia. The 4 of them have been in contact with Jian Wuxia for the longest time. In these years, they have watched Jian Wuxia grow up step by step, until now they have such strength and status. At the same time, in the process of growth, Jian Wuxia also gave them shocks and surprises one after another. In their eyes, Jian Wuxia is simply an outrageous monster, a big metamorphosis. Even more than the original Xian Yi is even more up against the sky. Even if the horrible strength is revealed in the main show of the Demon Star. The moment when Sword Wushuang walks out, I don't know why, they suddenly have a little more confidence in their hearts. This confidence is the absolute letter to the sword matchless. Unconsciously, several of them have already regarded Jian Wushuang as the backbone, and they have also regarded Jian Wushuang as the largest pillar that propped up the world in the early days. Now that the entire pre-god camp, if the only one who still hopes to contend with the Lord of the Demon Star, then there should be only sword unparalleled. Tianho Xiaoyu, it's up to you. The four of them were meditating in their hearts. Wu Jian's unparalleled figure has now come to the side of the magic flame. Haha, Jian Wushuang, are you finally planning to shoot yourself? The Lord of the Clouds stood in front of the void, and when he saw the arrival of Jian Wushuang, he gave out a hearty laugh, but did not mean to shoot immediately. Wu Jianshou looked at the Lord of the Clouds coldly, but did not speak. Master, the subordinates are incompetent. Mo Yin bowed. Let's get up, this is no wonder you. Jian Wushuang waved his hand. He didn't blame the demon flame, and it really can't blame the demon flame's head. Demon flame previously only based on what he said about some information about Demon Star Master, thus judging the approximate strength of Demon Star Master. Thinking that Demon Star Master may have just broken through the 4th rank and did not take long. And the fact is true in this way. Flames just didn't expect that the Demon Star Master not only possessed the rule of treasures, but also realized a bit of the law of the universe. This is simply an incredible thing. Jian Wushuang had never even thought about it before. And of course the magic flame was unexpected. Master, the Lord of the Demon Cloud is very powerful himself, and he also understands a bit of the laws of the universe. It is even more valuable to him. The combat power is much stronger than we expected, I said before. I can beat him with confidence, but it seems that it is a joke at all. His strength is completely beyond what I can handle now, unless my gold-swallowing body can recover to more than 30%. Otherwise I cannot kill he. Demon Flame solemnly said. Wu Jianwusa glanced at Moyan and nodded slightly. The strength of the magic flame is already very good. Only 20% of the deities are restored. The restoration is only the peak of the 3rd level. However, it can explode the 4th level combat power, and the combat power is extremely powerful. It is very rare. Already, Flame, I ask you in your current state, if you can show a more powerful killing strategy regardless of everything, at least you must be able to threaten the Lord of the Clouds. Sword Wushuangdo. Well, Moyan frowned but followed straightly. Master, I still have a trick that is extremely scary, but even this trick, even when I was in my prime, was very difficult, and if I cast it in my current state, I can barely show it. But the price is that the 2% of the gold-swallowing gods I recovered will directly collapse, and I will start to build cohesion in the future. How can you do this trick? Jian Wushuang looked over. Using my current strength, this trick can completely reach the 4th level peak. Although there is no certainty to kill him, at least it can also hurt him. The magic flame solemnly said. Can it be damaged? Jian Wushuang's eyes lit up immediately, and at the same time a heavy plan had emerged from the bottom of his heart. Chapter 3967. The first is more. Flames, get ready, show your strongest tricks. As for the body to collapse again, don't care. After killing the Lord of the Clouds, and after this calamity, there will be a chance to reshape the body for you in the future. Yes, Demon Flame nodded. Magic Dragon, Jian Wushuang again whispered. Keep an eye on that Shihua Lord. Once that Shihua Lord has any action, you will immediately form a fairy battle to entangle him. Remember, what you have to do is not to kill that Prima Prince. You just need to entangle him, and keep him from getting in the way. I understand, Lord Dragon responded. After a good explanation, Jian Wushuang's eyes were placed on the Lord of the Clouds staring forward again. The Demon Star Master obviously has absolute confidence in his own strength, knowing that Jian Wushuang is laying out the means, but he is not in a hurry. Jiang Wushuang, if you have any means, just take it out. Otherwise, you and your early gods will never have the opportunity to stand up again. The Lord of the Clouds smiled. As you wish. Jian Wushuang did not follow the master of the demon cloud star. And when he turned his hand, Wu weapon sword immediately appeared in his hand. Is also the rule of treasure. But after the emergence of Wu Wei's Excalibur, the powerful breath of the treasure spread. But the purple spear in the hands of the Lord of the Clouds was steady. After all, Wu Wei's Excalibur is from the Red Cloud realm. And according to what the Mister in the Red Cloud realm said, it is a top-class rule arcane treasure. And the purple spear in the hand of the Lord of the Demon Clouds is just a subordinate. The rule is precious, the two are not at one level at all. You even have the rule of treasure. And this rule of treasure in your hand seems to have a high level of magic sword. The Lord of the Clouds stared at the sword with no hands in the sword. But there was a hint of fiery in his eyes. Qi Jian Wushuang waved his hand again. And for a long time, the world trembled. I saw 3 ancient and vast breaths rising suddenly, 3 golden lights rising. And they were 3 towering stone monuments. Once they appeared, they immediately appeared in 3 different corners of the surrounding void. Fall. It's a rule again, and it's still 3 things? Demon Star was startled. He can very clearly sense that the 3 towering steels that Jian Wushuang took out are all rules of treasure. However, here is the edge of the universe after all. His Lord of the Clouds is only a 4th-level master. He has limited knowledge, and cannot directly recognize the Jintian monument. But even if you can't recognize it, the 3 rules of the treasure alone have made the Lord of the Clouds extremely excited. Haha, Jian Wushuang, you really prepared a big surprise for this seat. The Lord of the Clouds laughed loudly, and his eyes flashed with a frenzy. In his heart, whether it is the sword of Wu weapon in Jian Wushuang's hands, or the 3 town monuments that Jian Wushuang now takes out, they are already in his pocket. As long as Jian Wushuang is killed, these rules are precious. It is naturally his. Jian Wushuang snorted coldly, his eyes flashed. God and Magic Town Heavenly Formation Kai. I saw a lot of special handprints padded out one after another. Under the guidance of Jian Wushuang, the 3 shocking heavens were lifted up, and a series of complex golden mysterious patterns flashed, and quickly flowed buzzing. Universe the void shook slightly. The next moment, golden lights radiated from the 3 monuments of the town at the same time. This golden light is connected to each other, and in the blink of an eye, the 3 town monuments have completely intersected, and a large golden law formation has been formed directly. This golden circle is like a huge golden cage, covering the vast world, and the breath of horror is constantly rising in this circle. The sacred magic town Tianfao Array has already taken shape. In a short time, a powerful suppressive force directly acted on the Lord of the Clouds, the most central of the golden circle. The main body shape of the demon cloud star shook slightly, but immediately returned to calmness. Oh, is the rule of repression like a treasure? And these 3 rules are combined to form a special kind of repression, but unfortunately, your own divine power is too weak to seem to be able to show the true power of this law. Mighty power, the repressive force of this circle, has little effect on this seat. The Lord of the Clouds still smiled. He is telling the truth. The demon town Tianfao Array is indeed very strong, but Jian Wushuang's own divine power is too weak. At the beginning of the eternal dark prison, he urged the demon town Tianfao Array to suppress the demon dragon master. The demon dragon lord can do the same. It came out with about 70% of its combat power. Compared to the original, Jian Wushuang in these years is only because of the 3rd important aspect of the cultivation of the supreme immortal mysticism. The power of the gods has improved a little, but the impact on this formation is still not too great, and the magic cloud, the strength of the Star Master, is much stronger than that of the dragon leader. The repressive power of the sacred magic devil's heavenly formation can let the Lord of the Dragons play only 70% of its combat power. But the Lord of the Demon Clouds has not much influence under this repressive force. In this regard, Jian Wushuang was not surprised. When he thought about it, A little cosmic law was integrated into the three town monuments at the same time. Suddenly, roar! The deep roar sounded, and the Sanzuan Town monument was trembling violently. Immediately on the surface of the Sanzuan Town monument, the endless golden secrets condensed, but they were condensed into three towering tall golden ghosts. The golden demon remnant hidden in the town's monument has been awakened directly by Jian Wushuang. With the appearance of these three golden gods, the repressive power of this, and the magic of the heavenly formation increased instantly. Lord Moyen frowned slightly. The repressive force just had little effect on him, but now the repressive force is enough to affect him, but the impact is still small. Is there only such a degree? Demon Lord still smiled slightly. Qi Jian Wushuang did not speak. He had known for a long time that this level of repression alone had a great impact on the strength of Demon Star. Alas, this is just the beginning. Mystery Dragon Extermination. The sharp sword flashes in Wujian's eyes, and the dragon-destroying mystery works, and the immense power in his body is burning madly at this moment. The burning of divine power increased the sword divinity's basic divine power by 100-fold in an instant. It should be known that the God Magic Town Magic Circle he is currently performing. The reason why the power is not enough to have too much influence on the Lord of the Clouds is because his own divine power is too weak. As soon as he performed the mystery of dragon extermination, his divine power surged, and the repressive power of this magical devil's heavenly formation naturally increased instantly. Buzzing. The horrible repressive force is at least several times, or even dozens of times stronger than before. Madness acts on the Lord of the Clouds. Even the Lord of the Clouds feels an extremely heavy pressure at this moment. Chapter 3968. Second more. Suppress the strength of this seat by nearly 20%. The main look of Demon Star finally changed a little. After the execution of the Mystic Dragon technique, it is not the end. I saw Jian Wushuang waving again. The void in the universe shook slightly. He followed a large amount of black air, swept up abruptly, and in a blink of an eye he covered the vast cosmic void around him. Here is the cosmic void, which is already dark, but at this moment, it is even darker. There was no light at all, and the entire universe was in absolute darkness. Silent. The whole universe is a silence. Primitive universe. The law of the universe personally gave Jian Wushuang the strongest talented supernatural power, and also Jian Wushuang's strongest whole card for killing tricks. And at this moment it was directly cast out. And the burning of the magic power of the dragon mystery, plus the blessing of the primitive universe, this made the sword unparalleled power reach a new level in an instant, and the repressive power of the magic town Tianfa array also surged again. Buzz! The Lord of the Demon Clouds is trapped in the heavenly magic circle of the Devil Town. At this moment, I also feel a terrifying force oppressing him. Even if he is under this terrible suppressive force, he can only play at most out of 70%. Great Jian Wushuang, is this your strongest whole card? The Lord of the Stars stared at Jian Wushuang, his eyes burning. The ruler of the rules, using the treasure array method, can burst into such terrible repression. Really, but as long as you kill your cards and these treasures will be yours. Wu Jianwushuang looked dignified. He knows that he can't last this long. I don't mention how great the burning of divine power is to the depletion of divine power. The talented primitive universe alone can only last for 10 breaths. Within 10 breaths, even if he can't kill him, he must consume his power to the greatest extent. Jian Wu's eyes exploded sharply. French array kill. Sword array wave light. Hurrah! The mighty sword-like waves swept up directly. These sword-like waves overlapped, and the power was shocking. At the same time as the sword wave swept up, from the three town monuments, there were also a large number of blades of gold-like sweeping out. These golden lights are perfectly combined with that sword-like wave. I saw a large number of sword-like waves permeated with golden light, like a tsunami, and madly rushed towards the Lord of the Nebula. Sunbo lightsaber array. and the strongest killing trick in the magic town of Heaven Law Formation, the two perfectly combined. In addition, under the sword Wuxuang's simultaneous execution of the dragon extermination technique, and the blessing of the primitive universe, the heavy golden light sword wave coming from the crazy shock, the power is too strong. Almost every heavy golden lightsaber wave, the power can match the full strike of the 4th level master. The Lord of the Clouds is at the very center of the magic town of heaven and magic. Under that powerful suppression, the strength can only play 70%, but the strength of 70% is still horrible. I saw him waving his boss. Spears, either sweeping or stabbing directly, can easily crush the waves of waves sweeping around. In the blink of an eye, the Lord of the Clouds has defeated dozens of waves of golden light swords. However, the golden light sword wave, but endlessly vulgar, is still a crazy shock attack. Sword formation, terrible sword formation. The face of the Lord of the Clouds finally changed completely, and there was no such relaxed and comfortable appearance as before. No way. He was caught in this wave of lightsabers at the moment, and he could only bear the shock of the surrounding golden lightsaber. Although those golden lightsaber impacts did not threaten him at all, there were dozens, hundreds, even thousands of consecutive shocks coming in this way. It is troublesome. After all, the sword-like wave can be compared with the 4th level master to do a full blow. Even if he is suppressed by strength, he must use the rules of the universe to make a full shot, so that he can easily defeat this heavy sword-like wave. But while crushing these sword-like waves, his own divine power was rapidly being consumed. The speed of this consumption is also terrible. Break me! The demon Nebula was angry. He held the purple spear with one hand and smashed a stab, and the purple spear turned into a huge purple thunderbolt in an attempt to completely defeat the sword-like ocean in front. However, hundreds of thousands of years of research in the Tower of Time and Space, Jian Wuxuang has promoted his 3 major sword arrays to the extreme, especially the wave lightsaber array, which can be combined with the magic town and heavenly array. After all, it is his strongest killing trick, so he perfected the sword formation as much as possible. After hundreds of thousands of years, the wave lightsaber formation has been extremely tough. The most important thing is that he is still performing the sword array under the dragon demystification and primal universe, and the blessing of the surrounding gods and magic towns. Even if he is powerful, even if he casts his best the strong tricks, they did not want to defeat the lightsaber. I can't defeat it directly, then he can only fall into the wave lightsaber array, and constantly endure the impact of the golden lightsaber ocean, and continue to be consumed. Boom, 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 boom. I only heard a low impact sound, which rang continuously in the sword array. This sound continued for a long time, and never stopped. Within the sword array, the Lord of the Clouds has withstood the impact of the golden light sword wave thousands of times, thousands of shocks. He has to fully resist each time. Accumulate when he got up. His divine power had been consumed very much, and it was estimated that he was already close to 40%. But at this time, the special force that had been covering the void of the surrounding universe suddenly dissipated. In the sword array, the power of the golden light sword wave that was madly hitting again and again was greatly weakened at this moment. The repression effect suffered has also weakened a lot. No way, 10 breaths, it's already here. Primitive universe naturally stopped. Huh. The Lord of the Clouds looked up, but followed with a big laugh. Haha, Jian Wuxuang. I thought that your sword formation can be maintained like this forever. It can really be endless. But now it seems at most, you can only continue for 10 breaths. Unfortunately, if you can really continue to maintain this, maybe it is really possible to kill this seat. But now, without the blessing of the primitive universe, the power of the magic town of Triumphagen weakened, and the power of the demon star master could be stronger, and it was obviously much easier to resist the impact of the sword waves around it. 10 breaths. It is enough to consume nearly 40% of the magic power of the Lord of the Clouds. Wu Jinshuang did not feel unfortunate. After all, He had never thought of relying on this sword array to kill the Demon Star Master. This was just the first killing move in his plan. And then, the second killing trick. Alas! You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.